Hi, it's me, Wyatt, the boy,
And me, Clem, the lobster.
and you're listening to The Lobster and His Boy, in which we're rereading the Chronicles of Narnia in publication order. In this episode, we will be discussing part 2 of our 5th book and namesake, The Horse and His Boy. Will Aravis meet up with Shasta, Bree, and Win? Will Anvard fall to Rabadash? Will they make it to Narnia? Let's find out.
I don't know. Sorry. Was that a rhetorical question?
Yeah, it's a question for the fans. It's a question for the listeners. It's a question for all you folks out there hearing my voice right now.
Hi, hello out there.
If you are listening and haven't read the book.
Shasta, can you hear me?
So, I don't have a recap, but I think I can recap.
I mean, I can do a recap.
Yeah.
No cap recap?
Just for the last chapter.
Just a little no cap recap. So the last time we left our girl bosses, they were hiding kind of in plain sight from not only the Tisroc, but all of his crew, who were discussing Rabadash's plan to sally forth, or rather Susan forth, to Narnia to claim his barbarian bride. But if his plan should fail, the Tisroc has already prepared to sacrifice his eldest son in order to remain peaceful amongst the countries.
Yeah, basically. Chapter 9. Across the Desert.
And and Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss Squad is still midway from sneaking out of the castle, sneaking out of the gates, waiting to meet up with Shasta and Horse Squad.
Yes. Laz is freaking out. She's like, they're gonna kill us. I just gotta go run to my room and hide and pretend that I didn't see this and pretend that none of this happened. And Aravis is like, we're halfway. I'm not stopping now. I'm not gonna go and marry that old fucking man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it. We've gotta
Absolutely
go
not.
get to that garden door and we've gotta go do it right now.
Laz is not stoked on that idea, and she'd rather just scrap it. As you were saying, they're almost all the way there. And Aravis is just like, if you don't help me, I'll rush out into the passage and I'll fucking scream, and then we'll both be caught. We'll also probably be killed.
Right, the Tisroc's not that far down the hallway.
No.
If she runs out and screams.
Yeah, better dead than married to an old man.
I mean,
Same.
yeah. And they travel on woods. Because Laz does know the way. I think she maybe got lost a little bit in the ease of the adventure or whatever. Or, I don't remember if you have to go through the old palace to get to the garden. But they do get to the garden, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's also the middle of the desert, so it's probably made that much more beautiful, all the green. And we're told that Aravis doesn't really get to experience the garden in all its glory. One of the drawbacks about adventures is that when you come to the most beautiful places, you are often too anxious and hurried to appreciate them. And they do wrap up pretty quick. Aravis apologizes to Laz for being a pig, and then she compliments her dress because, that's her life.
Mm-hmm.
And probably to make her feel better about her choices, because Laz doesn't understand why Aravis would leave. She thinks that frickin' Ahoshta's a good guy. That's what she says it right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I just don't understand. He's a great man. He's about to do all this great stuff. She's like, I love your dress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes you're different than the world that you grew up in, and you might fit in better elsewhere, and you can still love those people, even though, well, personally, I don't think child brides is okay, but, in the circumstances where you can have some conflicting beliefs, what maybe political or whatnot, what have you.
Yes.
But gave her a compliment on her level, and then toodles away where she hears an owl.
Ooh.
Now we know it's country roads, take me home.
Take me home.
Except it's desert.
desert.
And hot as fuck.
And it's hot as fuck. And she hates the city, apparently. She's more of a country girl, which I didn't know. I kind of assumed that she was a city girl because when they were walking around the city, she's like, if I was here, I would be toted around just like these fancy people. I would be this and that. I would be over here and hooting and hollering. And then she's like, I actually hate that shit.
No way.
Then why were you, like, bragging to Shasta 2 seconds ago? Like, 3 days ago, but whatever.
Because she still wants to prove she's fancy and she's punk rock princess. She's Avril Lavigne. She's like wearing a dress, but she's got sneakers on.
And anyway, I did like the owl moment though. She like it calms her down, and we all know owls symbolize wisdom. So I think that this is just she made the wise choice. She made the right choice.
Did she make the wise choice?
Yeah, I think that it maybe not. Maybe it's just nighttime. But are there really that many owls in the desert? I don't know that much about owls. I'm going to need to read the report on owls that I did back in the second grade that I just found.
I've only heard a couple songs by Owl City, but I don't think they really get into the specificity.
No, they're talking about fireflies.
Aravis, Avril Lavigne is now, Aravis is now somehow on the same road that Shasta had found, and
right, which is crazy because he like climbed down from the rooftops.
Her heart quailing, which is a interesting verbiage, but here we are. Quailing. I mean, like, suppose they're not there. Suppose there's ghouls. What she's gonna get gooped and got, but she sticks out her chin and a little bit of her tongue and goes forward, and then she finds them, it seems like, very quickly.
Yeah, I feel like she kind of stopped a little further back. She's like, okay. And she had her breakdown where they're gone, they left me, I'm gonna die in the desert alone, and no one's gonna find my body.
Right, much quicker, though.
Yeah, and then she gets over herself, and then instantly it's, like, rewarded for her.
Yeah,
Shasta. Yeah, he had to wait like 2 whole days in the tombs alone.
But also, it's not about equality in lessons. No. It's about the equity of our lessons.
Yes.
And
he had the kitty.
And she also had that adventure with her friend, and so that was her lesson. It wasn't even so much that hers was an expedited lesson. It was just a different flavor. Shasta got blue raspberry. She got watermelon punch.
Yeah, it solidified her choice.
Why did I choose the most two random flavors?
Because it's Narnia, baby. We're not on the planet Earth. We're on Mars.
We're on Mars. Okay, there's a lot of dialogue. When I was editing my document of the book, it was just like someone talking. To hear is to obey. Blam, ba, ba, bam, ba, bam, ba, bam, bam. Okay, I love that the greeting immediately starts off with she just like gives money to the guy who took care of the horses and starts just giving sweet, sweet kisses to Hwyn and Bree, like, forgetting the fact that they're, Narnian horses, and in that moment just like treating them like they're her
horses.
But they also don't care because they're happy to see her, and that is the greeting that is acceptable, I'm sure. I mean,
that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
Hwyn was her horse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when I see a small member of my family, I feel like with the initial greeting, I can get, with permission, maybe baby them a little bit more.
She lets the horse groomer, the horse carer. She's like, you can go now. But he can't really go anywhere. The gate is locked now.
Oh, right.
But he does scuttle off because he doesn't want to fucking hang around the tombs at night because he's worried about goblins and ghouls and ghosts and creatures.
Yeah, giant skeletons. Clickety-clackety.
Oh my god, imagine.
Skeletons.
Because the cover of your book is terrifying.
Yeah.
The one that I posted that's on the back of my book is like the daytime. I think that it is nighttime, but the colors are much brighter. But your book is definitely nighttime, dark, spooky tombs, which is cool. And it's a very sci-fi cover, low-key.
It's giving Dune. Not that I've seen the new one, but it's also giving, honestly, like, Barbarella is more what I think of. That is a more palpable reference.
It's really sci-fi.
Look at the moon. Look at the moon.
Look at that moon.
It's giving Moulin Rouge. It's giving love and love.
After the horsey kisses, Shasta comes out from his hiding place because he was probably just sitting there watching, which now I'm putting together. The horse groom probably saw, or at least subconsciously felt, that he was being watched, and it just added to the spookiness because Shasta was there skulking behind the tomb, just like watching and waiting and seeing what was going to happen. Scared himself, but he was watching this man for we don't know how long. I feel like not really that long.
Hopefully not too long, but wait.
Maybe
Wait, Shasta was hiding from them the whole time?
yeah. Cuz Shasta, we ended 2 chapters ago. He saw the horses, he got excited, and then he noticed that there's this armed groom guy.
Oh, right. I guess
And so he hid behind the tomb, and then we heard Aravis' story, and then just now they got back. So maybe the timelines kind of linked up because Laz had sent this man. He probably came out right before the gates were closed for the evening. So maybe he was only there for a half an hour or so because they got held up with the conversation, and we know the dialogue took forever. So
yeah, I guess for some reason I had it twisted in my head that Shasta had, like, I know that he went in, scavenged for his snacks and took a little splishy splashy cleaning uppy, but I guess in my head I thought maybe he had come back earlier in the day, and then I knew that the horses were shortly thereafter. So I guess that would be like maybe several hours of hiding.
I think right before the gates were closed, he was headed back to get the melons because he had decided to go to Mount Pyre by himself. So he was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm done waiting. And he went to go get the melons, and then he saw the horses. That's what it was. We remember. I remember, I think.
It doesn't really say. It's just that, Bree sees Shasta, and he doesn't really he isn't like, I've been here for hours or anything. It's just that they're all together, and then it's like Aravis is just like
fills them in on the plan.
Yeah, throws herself up very smoothly onto the horse in a way that Shasta's envious of. Let's GTFO.
And they do. Bree's like, we're going this way, but Shasta says, wait, I know a better way. And he takes them a bit northwest towards the secret ravine that he overheard the Narnian raven talking about. Secret ravine. And they're walking and trotting all the way through the night, because you may as well leave during the night while the desert is cool. And it's not too bad. And then the sun rose. They felt pretty good about how much ground they had covered the next morning, but from this moment on, they kind of keep looking back, and Tashban looks as close as ever. It's like looming over them, which is really cool. I'm sure that there is some sort of architectural, logistics where it can look like that, but it's probably just a desert mirage.
Anglage.
Where it's so far away that it's just kind of in the horizon.
Probably because, it's up on like a hill or something, but it sounds cool. I love the way that he talks about the sand gleaming in every direction, as smooth as the water or a great silver tray. And I'm wondering if this is our big water journey, apart from, from Shasta's being found as a baby.
Oh yeah, his initial water journey. This is our
boy's water journey.
It feels like we've been here forever. I actually think that happens very shortly where they say that.
We're in a dead world. So it's fallout, and they're just tibbly-tobbling around. Not a singular bird singing the sunrise.
No, it sucks. And they just have to keep on going. There's no choice.
But when the sun rises, the gray sand turns yellow and twinkled like a diamond.
Which is pretty until the sun was high in the sky. And now it's hot sand. And they're taking breaks to give the horses breaks. So Aravis and Shasta had been hopping off every now and again to walk. But Shasta can't really do that because, as was mentioned plenty of times, he doesn't have any shoes.
He ain't got no shoes?
I don't know if everybody knows this, but hot sand on bare feet sucks.
Ding, ding, ding. Fun fact. I don't know if that's a relatable thing. Why didn't he get shoes at any point?
Literally at any point he could have gotten shoes.
I appreciate that it's probably very counterintuitive for him to get shoes, but y'all are you're going across some sand.
I'm surprised that Aravis didn't give him shit for it. You don't even have any shoes. You're just a little boy and you don't have any shoes. And then he would have got some shoes. But it was never even really a conversation until Sluis wanted him to have to burn the soles of his feet on the hot sand. And so he said, actually, take his shoes away.
It sounds awful. Just, yeah, Tashband never gets any farther away. The mountains never get any closer. It's just hot and the squeaking and stinky horse, stinky you, drippy sweat. And you don't, it's not like you can play any fun games or like entertain each other. There's nothing to splish splash around in. It just sounds hot and boring.
And this is where it says, you felt this had been going on for always. This is our sea. This is our trek, our journey. And it goes on for hours and hours until they come across a rock outcropping, casting a sliver of a shadow.
There it is.
And they take a break. None of them talk during this break in the shade. They're too hot. They're too tired. They just need a second of rest. It says the horses were flecked with foam and their breathing was noisy. I saw a TikTok. I didn't know that when horses sweat, they sweat foam, which is wild.
It's where the expression rode hard and put away wet came from.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, they like
See,
it.
but wet could also just be regular sweat.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
But yeah.
I don't know what words. I didn't make up words. Nobody came to me about the word meeting, so.
Oh, I wish they woulda. They walk through the rest of the day after this tiny little break and into the night and finally get their little reprieve, although the sand probably stays hot for a good chunk into the evening. But Shasta sees it. He sees it. The ravine. And they start to go down, hoping, trudging, panting, until probably like at the very last bit of their energy, they come across like a trickle of water, and then that trickle grows more and more, but that trickle right there is what gave them enough strength. And they're at a real river, drinking. Everybody, still no talking, just drinking water.
Just plop yourself in and just, equal parts drinking the water and cooling yourself off.
But now
Sounds
it's
lovely.
It's all gonna be okay.
It's like when you finally get to the pool on a really hot summer's day and you just can jump in and you just feel your whole body just like,
Yes, it's exactly that.
that was a perfect like soda commercial. Just not the second one, the first one.
And now they're able to use their brain and assess their surroundings. I'm surprised that the heat didn't.
Heat of the desert and their eyes. And out of the darkness, amongst the trees, there came a sound that Shasta had never heard before.
A nightingale.
Sing, sweet nightingale, sing.
We've got to do some animal symbolism here, so I looked it up, and it says, in literature, nightingales have appeared in thousands of poems, from Homer to the present day. They have been associated with many things, including spring, mourning, as in mourning at death, melancholy, love, creativity, and natural poetic creation. I don't know who Coleridge and Wordsworth were. They sound kind of cool, but also boring.
The Muppet guys who stood up in the balcony and
Probably.
write everyone for film.
They saw the nightingale as an example of natural poetic creation, a voice of nature. But in Christianity, the nightingale is associated with the divine and is mentioned in the sacred texts. It can represent the soul's connection with God and a reminder of the spiritual journey. So I feel like it's a little bit natural, voice of nature. I like that. And the reminder of the spiritual journey is what resonated with me for this specific nightingale mention. They've just crossed this desert on the word of a Narnian, the word of a stranger, and it worked out. They found water, they found hope, the spring.
Just for the record, I just need everyone to know that I know the names of Statler and Waldorf, the Muppets. That was just a joke. I don't want the Muppet fandom coming for me because...
Actually, their names...
No, I love the Muppets with every single fiber of my being, and it would just be a discredit to my legacy to ever have anyone think that I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the Muppets.
If anyone knows the Muppets, you know the Muppets.
Thank you.
But they all lay down now that they're cooled off.
Sleepy.
And we kind of get like a little bit of everybody's inner monologue, and they
Mhm.
all are like, we've got to keep going. We just need
Mhm.
to keep going. If I lay down, I'm going to fall asleep.
I'm hungry.
But they all lay down.
Need to have a snack and
And I saw it perfectly for the movie Notes for Greta. Of course, it ends on Shasta, our main boy. But then it would pan up from him to the stars, and then pan back down, and they'd all be asleep. Aravis is the first to wake up, and this is the next morning, right? I think they wake up the next morning.
Yeah, the sun was already high in the
Yeah.
heavens, and the cool morning hours were already wasted.
Yeah, they wake up the next morning, and she's beating herself up. Like,
Mhm.
she's like, I'm used to these kind of situations. Like, I've done shit like this. I shouldn't. I'm like, well, maybe Bree has done it more than you, but he also is used to having a rider who was gonna wake up and get him going.
Yeah, and it says that they were dazed and stupid with the heaviness of their sleep, and we all know what it's like to be woken up when you're really tired, just blah, 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 blah.
That summer vacation sleep where you wake up and you're fucking hungry and you're groggy
And it's
you're...
hot in the tent.
Yeah, and that's
Hot.
where we are.
Hot in the
Ding,
tent.
ding, ding,
Hot
ding,
in the tent. Everybody's on different levels. Bree's like, I need a snack. Shasta's just like, we should go. It's one of those situations where, because everybody's dysregulated, it's going to be a bit of a battle until they figure out how exactly they're going to continue on.
Quinn really does step up, going from soft-spoken mare to, like, she says, other horses might have run through the night. Like, they could have been pushed beyond their limits by riders with spurs and things. And then Bree puts her down really rudely. What do you have the quote? What does he say to her?
Says, I think, man, that I know a little bit more about campaigns and forced marches and what a horse can stand than you do.
Ew, Bree.
It's
Ew.
very gross.
They're also hot and hungry and tired still. And
But even so, it's very much when Ron makes fun of Hermione and just,
no wonder she hasn't got any friends. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You didn't have to say that.
Mm-hmm. When he says that, the way she doesn't answer him, it's giving Molly Weasley.
And we are told Lewis does step aside and say that Bree could have gone several more hours, and would have, if he had a Tarkan on his back. So, extra, double, boo on Bree. Boo, boo, triple boo. I'm mad at you.
They take it more chill, and Lewis mentions that the valley itself, with its brown, cool river, and grass and moss and wild flowers and rhododendrons, was such a pleasant place that it made you want to ride slowly.
Yeah.
It made you want to ride slowly into the next chapter.
Which is chapter 10. The Hermit of the Southern March.
Did we both go for Goblin?
A little bit.
Go for Goblin. This Mount Pyre.
The double titty mounts.
Pyre.
Titty
Double
mount.
titty Mount Pyre. She's giving Mordor. She's giving Ookity Spookity. She's giving Mount Cyanide. Like, Mount Cyanide. Rocky pinnacles, snow clinging to the ledges, pine-clad slopes, frowning cliffs, narrow gorges, blue peaks stretched as far as the eye could reach. Mount Pyre.
At the base of all of this intense mountainous terrain is the lower green hills. And these green hills were greener than anything that Aravis or Shasta had ever seen or could have even imagined. Because they grew up in the desert. The greenest thing Shasta saw was seaweed, which is kind of a browny green. And the greenest thing Aravis saw was some gorse bush or something, probably, which is green. But in the hot sun, it's going to probably have some sad leaves. And so now they're just like, it's so green. It's the Narnian Technicolor.
Yeah, no, you're correct. Rabbits scurrying in every direction as they advance. A whole herd of deer.
They do cross this river that they were drinking out of. They find a little shallow point to cross. And Shasta's now like filled with this strange excitement. I said the Narnian air is having its effect because they've now exited the desert.
Are they in Narnia?
They're not. we do find out in like a second that they have just entered Arkenland. It's weird that after they cross the river, Bree's like, "Oh, that was the Winding Arrow. Like, now you know what it was called."
I mean, well, maybe there's like obviously an atmospheric pressure change, and maybe it's like a magical atmosphere.
Yes, we do see some dragonflies crossing the river, and it's the first animal we've seen since the last animal we've seen. Dragonflies transform from aquatic nymphs to airborne adults, which can represent change in self-realization and maturity. They can also symbolize the ability to adapt to change and become your true self. So I think that this, again, is similar to the owl. Like, they've made the right choice. They're on their journey, their spiritual journey to true self. They're in Arkenland. I don't think I did any origin for Arkenland when we first brought it up, so I looked it up here, and Arken, the only thing I could find was Arcan, which means beginning or origin. I'm a liar. Arkan is the name of a person who worships. So, like, worshipper land, but I kind of like Arcan, like beginning land, like the old land. Even though Narnia might be older than Arkenland. Because the worship land, that makes it seem like they're just... They're just... Yeah, they're just...
Worshipping.
Yes, literally.
It's exactly the type of laziness that Lewis would be like, this is really smart and clever. But also, maybe it was like smart and clever.
It's just like Dorne, you know? Yeah. They're just another, like, a Republic of Narnia. But they're not.
Yeah. Also, we're like... We're right on the precipice of something. Do you see that? Shasta points at something and says, "That looks like smoke. Is it a fire?" Bree thinks it's a sandstorm, but Hwin actually realizes that it's helmets and armor shining in the light.
The army!
By Dash! Rabadash's army. Good God, girl, get out!
And they fucking do. They start a gallop. But it's hard work because they're on a ridge. So they go down a valley. They go up a hill. They go down a valley. They go up a hill.
They're sore and tired.
And they can't really see the army because they're worried about going forward. And then they get to the second ridge. And when Shasta looks back this time, the army is no longer in the desert, but already on the river looking for a way to cross. And certainly both horses were doing, if not all they could. All they thought they could, which is not quite the same thing. And seemingly out of the blue, they hear it. A lion's roar, which speeds the horses up full speed. Go now. Get on, getting on.
No one questions the fact that, like, why is there lions, plural, yet no other large cat predators, really. Also, no other animals that are indigenous to, like, Africa.
Just the lions everywhere.
I guess. Why are there no elephants in Narnia? I want a talking elephant. Is that too much to ask for?
No, I want it too.
They'd be the elephants trumpeting for Aslan. Tell me that wouldn't be so cute. And then they could hold, like, the centaurs help the little, then they could help the elephant and hold their trunk up so they can do their little, like...
Baby, yes.
Oh. Sorry, go ahead.
So there's a lion chasing them now. And Bree's fucking shook. He is running, of course, quicker than Hwin. And we kind of get Shasta's point of view, although he's not really seeing what we're told he's seeing because he's just in flight mode. But he looks back. He sees the lion. It's gaining on them. He looks forward again. There's this weird, smooth, green wall, and there's a gate in the middle of the wall, and in the middle of the gate, there's a man. And he sees this stuff, but he doesn't really see it. We're told this man is dressed down to his bare feet in a robe colored like autumn leaves, leaning on a straight staff. His beard fell almost to his knees.
The lion is very close. It's almost got Hwin now, making snaps at her hind leg, and Shasta says to Bree that we have to go back and we have to help, and basically all but slides off of a moving horse, never having done anything like that before. But it's like, I assume it's like that adrenaline thing where people, mothers can like lift a full car or whatever because they're saving their baby or something. Lewis describes a horse's scream coming from Hwin's lips. I'm not going to make that noise.
One of the most terrible noises in the world.
Even though I would love the challenge. The way that Shasta attempts to shoo the lion is pretty silly, screaming at it to go home. Especially because the lion jumps at Aravis, jabs it with its paw, and Shasta can just see it kind of just like tearing at her shoulders while she screamed. It sounds excruciating. Shasta doesn't have a single weapon. He doesn't even have a shoe to throw. Once again, reminding that he doesn't have any shoes on. Shouting at the lion seems the least effective method, but ends up being the most effective, astonishing not only Shasta, but me and Bree. The lion just checks itself, picks itself up, and rushes away. What I think is the most weird random connection to this particular scene is in The Shining, in the book of The Shining. When Danny is by himself early on, he's running away from the topiaries of the lions, and every time he makes eye contact, the topiaries are still. So he starts running away, and every time he looks, they get closer and closer to him, and he never sees them moving, but they're always getting closer to him, and this kind of had the same effect with the lion, except in this case, it's Aravis who is getting attacked, and her back is just covered with blood. But thankfully the robed and bearded man is prepared and ready and says, "Come on in, daughter, come on in, son."
Yeah, he's ready to help.
And just takes them into this beautiful area where there's a wide, perfectly circular enclosure with a perfectly still pool of water, so full that the water was almost level with the ground. And on one end of the pool, completely overshadowing it with branches, was the biggest, most beautiful tree Shasta had ever seen. Unfortunately, they don't tell us what type of tree it is.
No.
So you could describe it, but
yeah, of course not. I want the tree symbolism. It's probably a mountain ash tree.
probably.
Which is that fairy portal tree.
And Shasta asks him, "So are you King Loon?
I love how he...
Are you King Loon of Ardenland?"
I love how he did this with Corin, too. He's just like, "Are you the person I'm looking for? Are you this person?"
Right.
Why are you just guessing such specific people?
He was right the first time.
He was right the first time.
But this time, he's not quite right.
No, this is not King Loon. This is the Hermit of the Southern March. Except he probably sounds much friendlier than that.
I figured he'd be like, maybe more like a less silly version of Tim the Enchanter.
Yeah. And he says there's no time to spare. The girl is wounded. The horses are too tired. But if Shasta runs straight to the castle right now, without stopping, he will make it in time to warn King Loon of the attack. Which, oh my god, he's tired as fuck.
So tired.
And
You want me to run now?
Yeah.
After all that, but he's given instructions, which thankfully Shasta, unlike our good buddy Jill Pole, is better at remembering directions. Not shitting on Jill, I can also never remember directions. But essentially he's like, "Look, it's time to go, girl. Run from this place."
Yeah, you see that gate right in front of you? Go through that gate and run in a straight line as the crow flies, and you will get there. And just run. Never stop running. Shasta had not learned yet that if you do one good deed, your reward is usually to be set to do another, and harder, and better one. I just saved the girl. Can't I get a break? No, Superman. Start running. And Shasta runs out of the chapter, away from the plot for now.
Really? There's so
No, there's more.
I was like, there's so
But he
much
runs
more.
out of the chapter.
That's true, yeah. Shasta's like, "Okay, bye."
Bye.
And
Gone for now.
back to the hermit and his crew, gonna make some nice tasty hot mash for the horses.
He treats them so well.
Calls them cousins.
Yes, he brushed them, he massaged them, he feeds them, he treats them better than the king's horses get treated.
Hwin and Bree inquire if Aravis will be all right. Will she live? Has the lion killed her? And the hermit says, "I, who many present things by my art, have yet little knowledge of things future. Therefore I do not know whether any man or woman or beast in the world will be alive when the sun sets tonight. But be of good hope. The damsel is likely to live as long as any of her age.
So dramatic. He's
Super
like, I don't know,
dramatic.
you could die tomorrow. But she's probably going to be fine.
Yeah, basically, like, you're going to be fine. And he takes care of her. He helps her with the bleeding. And he asks her, he calls her my daughter.
It's really sweet. And
And-
she says father.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like auntie, uncle sign of respect. It's the father-daughter part is a little bit weird.
I thought it was kind of priest-like, I guess. He kind of feels like he's this wise person at this pool.
I'd say my
I know he says
child,
he's a
then.
hermit. Yeah, my child. Which, yeah, not daughter.
Yeah.
But daughter of Eve.
Yeah.
But she's not. But
Is he Adam? Whatever.
speaking of our girl, speaking of our daughter, she wakes up, yes, on this bed of heather, which apparently makes the best bedding. Not that she would know. She's never seen or heard of this plant before. So I figured I'd teach her a little bit about heather. In Scottish folklore, that was bad, but in Scottish folklore, heather is seen as a symbol of protection, and soldiers would wear white heather on their chests in battle. It is also thought to have protective qualities, used to ward off evil spirits, and it's used for many purposes, including making brooms, which is how it got its Latin name, calunes, derived from the Greek word meaning to brush. So it was literally like they had brushes made out of this, and then it's also used to ward off evil spirits. So you're thinking like witches' brooms that do the old style magic. This is all about that. Heather, great bedding. You're like protected from bad dreams, and I think it says that she like sleeps really well on this bed of heather.
Is that why they named the movie Heathers? Because one of them dies.
The hermit tells her that she's looking really good and that she'll probably be able to get up tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Gives her some goat's milk, which she doesn't really love, but is also more of just like a shock because she's never had it before. There's lots of this in the next couple chapters of our two friends having lots of food and cuisine that they have not experienced before. And most of the time they're quite pleased with it. The hermit tells Aravis that the line cuts on her back are not as bad as everybody was scared they were. And though they smart, they are no more serious than if they had been the cuts of a whip. Must have been a very strange lion, instead of catching you out of the saddle and getting his teeth into you. He's only drawn his claws across your back. 10 scratches. Sore, but not deep or dangerous. And Aravis thinks, she's like, damn, I am lucky. And the hermit is like, no, I have now lived 109 winters in this world. 109? I would bet $100 that this guy is a star. That we find out one day, someday, that this guy is a star.
Of course. But, of course.
That he's never met any such thing as luck. There is something about all this that I do not understand. But if ever we need to know it, you may be sure that we shall.
I think it's undeniable that this guy is a star because he mentions the foot-length beard.
Yeah,
Nobody
the long
else.
beard.
No one has that but lords and stars. Well, he's either a lord or he's a star.
Either way, he's kept alive with magic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, definitely. Maybe he's a lord. I think I would guess he's probably like a lord, but it would be cool if he's a star.
I mean, 109, though.
Doesn't every...
No, I don't think so. Caspian only lives, like, regular length.
Yeah, I thought just everybody had long-ass lives in Narnia. Like, everybody lived for a couple hundo years. But maybe it's...
Caspian died at 66.
What a bitch. Maybe it's because the time is, like, I don't know. Who cares? Who cares? But maybe he's a magical lord.
Magical
Maybe he's
Lord.
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord looking at the pool. Glass-like revelations. Watching in the future, but the present.
You had cool.
Yeah, I know.
Right there.
My brain went empty when I was actually able to
No, you tried to
do something.
I was going to say, and this guy is really cool. So, like, it's not that you did poorly. It's just that you could have just, peanut butter jelly.
Yeah.
Anyway, a good wrap-up to this chapter is the subject of the ego. Bree thinking he's disgraced himself he's lost everything, and the hermit gives him a very nice reminder to very smallly paraphrase that he is just a speck of horsey dust in the beautiful galloping galaxy. He is important, and he's also not important, and he's brave and he's clever, and it doesn't matter. He is special, and he's nobody, and he's everything, and he's nothing, and he's exactly perfectly imperfect as he is.
It does remind me a little bit of Harry Potter, as everything does, because my brain is rotted. Because Lockhart, and others I'm sure, but Lockhart comes to Hogwarts thinking that he's going to be, like, the guy, because he's Muggle-born. And then it's like, you're magical. Mm-hmm. So it reminds me of Bree, like, you're a talking horse among all the Muggle horses. And so you're going to be really, really special. And this is the hermit telling him, like, everybody else can talk too.
It doesn't follow that you'll be anyone very special in Narnia. But as long as you know you're nobody very special, you'll be a very decent sort of horse on the whole, and taking one thing with another. And now, if you and my other four-footed cousin will come round to the kitchen door, we'll see about that other half of that mash.
And that's where we end our chapter, with the promise of a meal.
Gosh, Lord love a promise of a meal.
Jesus. And we enter chapter 11, The Unwelcome Fellow Traveler.
Shasta's running up that hill to make a deal with God. Limbs shaky, arms spaghetti, sweaty, unsteady on his feet too, nearly losing his ankles on them loose stones and the thick trees and the brackens and the things, and the sun is beating on his face and it's gray and it's drippy and the until he hears a horn.
A merry horn.
Next moment, he came out into a wide glade and found himself in front of a crowd of people.
Well, 15 people.
15 or 20. What is... It's 15...
He hates a specific number. Yeah. He doesn't want to give anything. He wants it to be up to the imagination.
Mm-hmm. Why can't you just say a horde of... I don't know. Like, just... whatever. We got a very... apple-cheeked, jolly man standing there amongst the horse.
Santa?
Santa!
The king. King Loon of Auckland. Loon, obviously, of the moon. Oop, done. The king thinks he's Prince Corin, as everybody has thought he is Prince Corin up to this point. Shasta's like, oh, no, I'm not your son. No time. Bad guys attacking. Get home now. I can't breathe.
I think it's funny that you skirted past this, because this is the third time that Shasta just deadass was like, are you King Loon? Like not even, like, yeah, just going for it. Just, like, straight to the point. Like, go ahead and get there. And he's just like, yeah, I just ran here, raced away from the Tesh man. And he's like, LOL on foot? You just ran here from Tashaban on foot. Like, okay, I'm gonna question you no more, bitch. Like, well, it's like, we got a spare horse for the boy? Can you ride fast, friend?
He doesn't answer. He just hops up on the horse, giving Aravis, baby.
Get on the horse, course. Don't need no discourse.
And he's not, like, perfect. He's not Aravis getting up onto the horse. But he is not climbing the horse like a haystack. As he once was. But he doesn't really know how to ride a horse still. He doesn't know how to use the reins. He doesn't have spurs. He still doesn't have shoes, I don't think. Can't anyone spare some shoes for the boy?
The boy has no shoes. He stares hard at Shasta with this, like, curious expression, almost a hungry expression in his stale gray eyes. So one could say that he's staring at Shasta with hungry eyes. That's the really creepy way to describe a grown man looking at a young boy.
Yeah, the one of Loon's men notes that Shasta must have noble blood in him because of the way he got on a horse. Mm-hmm. And Loon says, his blood, that's the question.
I guess that makes sense that Shasta would also fall towards the back, because the boy is tired.
Yeah. Even if he did know how to use the reins, he's just fucking tired.
Mm-hmm. He's been goofed and gooped and gone over hill and dale and yonder, and oh boy, just want to take a fucking break. But no, got to get your ass back on another horse. Ugh, boy.
And this fog, the hermit told us that a fog was going to roll in, but Shasta wasn't there for that. This fog rolls in, and he can't see the hunting party anymore. He does hear a horn going "Ba-ba" every once in a while, but every time he hears it, it's further and further away until he can't hear the horn anymore. He does come across a fork in the road eventually, and he's unsure about which choice to make. And before he can decide, he hears horse footsteps behind him. Horse steps. Horse steps. There's horses behind him.
Hoofbeats.
And he picks, I think he chooses the one on the right or whatever. He just kind of goes down one of the trails a little bit and hides behind a bush. And he overhears the Calormene general, or maybe it's Rabbitash. It doesn't really say who is speaking.
It just says it.
The person speaking warns the men again, as I'm sure they've heard before, not to spill a drop of blood more than necessary on this attack. They're just going to rush in and they're going to take the castle. That's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
On a future attack, they can kill anybody and everything that they want between here and the Western Waste. But on this attack, it's very diplomatic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a strike.
Yeah, on this venture, every drop of Narnian blood is more precious than a gallon of their blood.
Right. A drop to a gallon. Oof. That's a big exchange rate. That's
mm-hmm.
more than a
crescent.
And after they stopped there because this fork in the road is right near the border of Onvard, the capital city of Archenland, and they move on down the other trail that Shasta hadn't picked. So he can't really go down that trail now, or he's going to run into the back of an army. He has to pick the path less traveled, and he's like, well, I'm sure I'll arrive somewhere.
Right. Just yes, Robert Frosting down the road.
Yeah, like, of course you're going to arrive somewhere. It's going to lead you somewhere, Shasta, yes.
Yeah, and then in classic Robert Frostness, it starts to get colder and colder as a strange icy wind starts blowing past him. Like, what the fuck?
Right. And it never gives up, this breeze.
Just, yeah, relentless ice cold wind. Nothings.
And since he's never been in mountain country before, he doesn't really realize that he's in danger. He's very, very high up.
Oh, yeah. And this is by far the realest quote in any of the books. When Shasta says, I do think that I must be the most unfortunate boy that ever lived in the whole world. Everything goes right for everyone except me. Girl, same.
He has his full breakdown moment.
Mm-hmm.
He was left behind by Loon. He was left behind by the Pevensies and Tashban, and he starts to cry. I mean, it's fucking cold. He's alone. He doesn't know where he's going.
Yeah, everyone's warm and cozy back with their hermit, getting their nice tasty mash, all snuggly. It sounds very lonely.
He's not alone. He realizes that there's something or someone following right in pace with him. And he doesn't really know how long it's been following him because the breath is so subtle that it just kind of eventually came into his consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where, you know, when you hear a ghost and you just have a weird feeling and you know that the right choice is to just not say anything and not interact because you shouldn't give it any attention.
Don't acknowledge it.
This is where he's at. He goes, nope, I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. There's nothing there. And just as he's really convinced himself that there's nothing there, it sighs. The hot breath is on his hand.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is tall. He's on a horse. His hands are on the reins on a horse. That's like 6.5 feet tall. Well, it might be a pony he's riding, so maybe only 5. But I'm guessing 6 feet tall. That thing's face is 6 feet tall. No, no thanks.
I love these little like slowest snippets. Like now that he really has something to cry about, Shasta stops crying. And the horse isn't spooked. So Shasta says, scarcely above a whisper, "Who are you?" And the thing said,
"One who has waited long for you to speak."
Shasta asked, Are you a giant?
"You might call me a giant, but I am not like the creatures you call giants."
I can't see you at all. You're not something dead, are you? Oh, please don't go away. What harm have I ever done to you? Oh, I'm the unluckiest person in the whole world.
And it breathes on his hand again, this warm, hot breath. And he's like, "Is this the breath of a dead thing?" Like, no, stop being stupid.
Yeah, that is not the breath of a ghost. Tell me your sorrows.
And now Shasta has confession. It's like he can't see who he's speaking to, and he just like tells the whole story of how he didn't know who his parents are, and he was found on a beach.
Let
and
it out, girl.
The whole everything, and the warm voice in the darkness doesn't find his tale so unlucky. He lets him know, I'm sure as we all figured, that there was only one lion all along. And Shasta's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean there was only one lion? How do you know?" "I was the lion." Shasta just doesn't say anything, just gaped,
I have
gooped.
gagged. I have this whole quote if you want.
Yeah, give it to me.
I was the lion who forced you to join with Aravis. I was the cat who comforted you among the houses of the dead. I was the lion who drove the jackals from you while you slept. I was the lion who gave the horses the new strength of fear for the last mile so you should reach King Loon in time. And I was the lion you do not remember who pushed the boat in which you lay, a child near death, so it came to the shore where a man sat, wakeful at midnight to receive you.
Then it was you who wounded Aravis?
It was I.
But what for?
Child, I am telling you your story, not hers. I tell no one any story but their own.
Not the tears are not gonna fall out of my eyes.
I'm actually holding.
It's just so. It's sad and it's so beautiful, and I just love Aslan so much.
It's that quote that I had in the silver chair.
Yeah.
It's like with a burning bush. Like, was it not I? Did I not do this for you? Did I not carry you from crocodile-infested waters from, the hands of Pharaoh? Ironically, into the hands of Pharaoh. Well, I guess it would have been soldiers. Look, if you haven't seen The Prince of Egypt,
Watch it
what
now.
the
Pause
hell?
this episode. Go. I don't know what it's on,
Anything.
but watch it. If it's on something gross, then watch it another way.
Insane
watch it.
music.
Oh.
So the songs, the cast. I mean, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. Ugh. And then the voice cast. My only real main issue and qualm that just seems weird is that Val Kilmer is the voice of Moses, but he's also the voice of God. I don't understand why that is. It seems.
That's a choice.
Yeah, it's very weird. I mean, I guess we're bouncing back and forth between taking turns being Aslan, but anyway.
Shasta asks who the voice is, to which it responds,
Myself.
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 The Trinity, myself, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I love
I
that
am
they're all
that I am.
three
Yeah.
different voices. Like, it's like Aslan becomes all three versions of himself. It's freaking Hecate, or Hecate, however you pronounce it, the Mother Maiden Crone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
all three personalities of Aslan
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah, it's the Yahweh, the first breath, it's like slam.
Yeah.
he
the Old
he
Testament,
is.
the New Testament. Like,
I am that I am. Yeah, and I love the symbology of the lion, and it comes up a lot in different things, but I don't know. There is always that
Something
great
about
comfort.
it.
Yeah, there's just great comfort of thinking about a lion, and like I'd never once have thought that they were something to fear. I've also never been in a situation where I'm like, pa'o a pa'o with a lion. Yeah, they've only ever been something. I mean, they're about as attainable as a narwhal, essentially.
Then says, somewhere ahead he could hear birds singing, and he knew night was over at last. He could see the mane and the ears and the head of his horse quite easily now. A gold light fell on them from the left. He thought it was the sun. He turned and saw, pacing beside him, taller than the horse, a lion. The horse did not seem to be afraid of it, or else could not see it. It was from the lion that the light came.
Right. He is like, oh, the sun's coming up. And
Nope.
then he looks around toward the sun, and it's Aslan who is glowing. The lion, sorry. We don't know who it is, sorry.
Yeah, right.
But come
It's
on.
a motherfucking glowing lion.
There's no way. I love this. I think that the sun is rising. Because
Mhm.
as we see in the next sentence or two, when he gets out of the forest, that the sun has risen and the sky is blue. I love the idea that, like, Aslan is described as being the sun, or, Puddleglum was like, oh, I saw him in the morning sky, like, I like that if he's not riding through the sky on the chariot or whatever he is doing, then he still glows with the light and the warmth of the sun, because he's
Mhm.
just connected to it for whatever reason you want to.
Yeah, and
Believe.
he's never heard the dreadful stories about the demon that appears in the form of a lion, or never even heard about Aslan, the great lion, the son of the
Right.
emperor over the sea, king above all high kings of Narnia. Like, he doesn't know any of that.
He's just like, oh, a glowing lion.
He just sees one glimpse, of this fucking glowing lion, and he slips out of his saddle and falls to his feet. And he doesn't say anything, but he doesn't want to say anything, and also like knows he doesn't need to say anything. He just needs to
be.
Yeah, and Lewis describes this next part as the high king above all kings stooped towards him, and he touches his forehead with his tongue,
Give him a little kiss.
and he lifts Shasta's face until their eyes meet, and the pale brightness of the mist and the fiery brightness of the lion rolled themselves into a swirling glory and gathered themselves up and disappeared. And then Shasta was alone with the horse on a grassy hillside under a blue sky, and there were birds singing.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Everything's gonna be alright in the woods, and we got a horse where we're going.
This is the most intense Aslan disappearance I think we've seen thus far. Normally he just like jumps over a hedge and disappears, or just disappears, or walks behind a wall or whatever. But this, he like swizzles and swirls and merges with the fog and like absorbs it to clear Shasta's path, and like give him a kitty kiss.
This is some next level fancy
Yeah, he like
figure
blesses him.
mortification and goop.
Him kissing him on the forehead reminded me of Glinda when she blesses Dorothy before her journey. And she like kisses her on the cheek or on the forehead or whatever. And it's a blessing of safety. And with the morning sun rising, we move into the next chapter, which is chapter 12. Shasta in Narnia. He's made it.
Was it all a dream? How could it be a dream when there's a giant paw print right next to where Shasta was?
In the moist grass.
A nice moist paw print.
And then, as if to like solidify that it was real, the paw print fills with water.
Mm-hmm.
And then it overflows and produces a small stream that like will probably grow into a full river one day. But Shasta drinks from this growing spring of Aslan and dips his head in it and feels the cold mountain water. Like, there's nothing like that shit. It's so beautiful. And
Sounds like an Irish Spring commercial.
now he absorbs his new surroundings.
Flips around to see a range of higher mountains, and Shasta says, out loud to himself that those are big mountains between Arkenland and Narnia. So somehow he magically or allegedly made it to Narnia, I guess, somewhere between the course of the night.
Right, he just walked through that dangerous mountain path.
And he's like,
Like-
what luck. And then, wait, maybe it wasn't luck. Maybe it was him. Shasta unsaddles the horse, takes off the bridle, and tells him that even though it's a perfectly horrid horse.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like you. I don't care that you're not a talking horse. I don't care that we got to where we're going. I don't like you.
Yeah, I mean, he just kind of set it free. Just even though you're a totally shitty horse, and then the horse just immediately starts ignoring him and eating grass because apparently the horse has the same opinion of Shasta. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna ease on down the road with the thick dew cruelly cutting to his bare feet. What? Like, we get it. He ain't got no fucking shoes until he hears a thick and rather wheezy voice saying to him,
Good morning, neighbor. It's like a jump scare of kindness.
jump scare of kindness. That's fantastic. Shasta meets an hedgehog.
Large talking hedgehog.
Shasta replies with a good morning, but I'm not a neighbor. In fact, I'm a stranger in these parts, and I've come from over the mountains, from Arkenland.
He tells the hedgehog that the Calormene people are attacking Anvard. And the hedgehog is like, wow, Calormen, that's so far away. That's like at the edge of the world. That's so far away.
Across the Great Sand to see, but Shasta's like, it's not
not that far.
No, not as far as you
just
think.
came from there. And we know, we've been to the edge of the world. We know how far that shit is. This was nothing. This was a toss of a stone compared to the fucking Dawn Treader's journey.
Right. And Shasta's just like, yeah, so it's not that far away, and they're coming, so shouldn't we tell, like, your High King? And the hedgehog's like, oh yeah, for sure. I'm about to go to bed, though, so night.
Bye. And then as he's walking to bed, good morning, neighbor, he says to the rabbit. And then Shasta's like, okay, finally, somebody. Hey, and he tells the rabbit the same story. He's like, yeah, you should totally tell somebody about that. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on.
Until the party consists of 5 rabbits, a squirrel, 2 magpies, a goat-footed fawn, and a mouse, who all talked at the same time and all agreed with the hedgehog.
Narnia has really upped its whimsy levels now that there's peace throughout the land.
It's the golden age.
Yeah, it is the golden age. There's nothing to worry about. So they're not thinking about invasions and shit like that. They're just partying and drinking and celebrating all of the solstices and stuff like that.
Until 2 more people arrived.
Finally, a sensible red dwarf appeared. Duffel and a beautiful stag. I love the name Duffel. I think it's totally just a literary callback to Dawn Treader. I don't think that this dwarf was in world named after the Duffelpuds. But it's just fun for the reader.
Maybe the Duffelpuds look like that red dwarf, because I think they were
dwarves. Yeah, they were just common dwarves.
That would make sense. Yeah, maybe that's just a little like...
Yeah, just a little wink from Sluis to the reader. And also a beautiful stag. When the stag hears that a message needs to be delivered, it is ready. What's the message? How many Calormen? Where? Boom, bop, choom. It's like a reporter.
I've got speed, bitch.
Yeah, and before they're even fully done explaining it, gone. They're like, wait, but they're not going to find the High King care. Like, he's not there right now. I'm like, well, Lucy's there. Like, there's still royalty. There's still somebody who's going to do something.
Yeah.
So, message delivered or on its way.
Yeah, so we might as well have some breakfast.
Right, Duffel. He's like, oh, hey, when was the last time you ate? You look hungry. And Shasta has not eaten since yesterday morning.
So hungry. Oh.
And Duffel brings Shasta into his home and introduces him to his brothers, Rogan and Bricklethumb. And they're just in time for breakfast.
Perfect.
Wait, what were they eating again?
They're having a breakfast of bacon, eggs, mushrooms, coffee, hot milk, and toast.
Sounds good.
Every kind of toast.
And although the plates and cups are small, they have many, many, many servings. The dwarves are like, "Hey, would you cook a couple more eggs? Fry up a couple more eggs, and can I get some more of those mushrooms? Like, can I have another sausage?" It is so wonderful, and Shasta's never had toast before or butter. Like, this is just way more cottagecore than he was prepared or could even like comprehend. This world is so different.
Butter is my favorite food.
To experience butter for the first time at 14, you'd be like, "This place is the shit. This place is the shit. I'm sticking with you guys."
Yeah, I mean, just what a wonderful memory to have that core memory the first time you had butter.
Yeah, and you're so hungry too, so it's just like
The
warm toast and butter. I want it now. My mouth is watering. We might have to take a toast break.
Honestly, every time I have butter, it's like the first time I had butter.
This episode is sponsored by butter.
This episode is sponsored by butter. Hey there, friend. You having a snack? What are you going to put on it? The answer?
Butter.
Butter. Whether it's toast, popcorn, or grapes, slather it on.
Grapes? It could be good. I used to just sneak butter out of the fridge with a little spoon.
I like putting a little bit of butter in my marinara sauce, which is not like... it's probably maybe more controversial, but it's definitely not revolutionary. But I think just like a little bit of butter,
just butter noodles.
Butter noodle. I mean, is a vodka sauce just like butter and marinara?
Butter and vodka.
I don't think there's actually vodka and vodka sauce. Whatever. The point is, I'm gonna eat a stick of butter after reading about this excellent breakfast as described by Lewis, and it says that the beds in the house were far too small for him, but they made him a bed of heather on the floor, and he just conked out.
They are awoken by the sound of the trumpets, not huge and solemn like the horns of Tashban, nor gay and merry like King Loon's hunting horn, but clear and sharp and valiant. First came Lord Paradin with the banner of Narnia, a red lion on a green ground. We get introduced to Paradin, who I feel like I was gaslit into thinking we already knew. I mean, I think that he might have been in Tashban, and we might have learned his name, but I didn't remember.
It was too hot.
Yeah. His name origin is kind of funny, though, because Peri means surrounding or around. Think like periscope. And Dan, D-A-N, title of address to members of religious orders, from Latin Dominus Lord. So, like, he's somebody who's around lords. He just, like, hangs around lords.
We're talking about how Corin's riding a pony.
Yeah, well, he's a boy. He's a young boy. He's just riding a little pony.
I mean, I guess I was a very big boy.
Yeah. After Lord Paradin comes Prince Corin, King Edmund, Queen Lucy, and then the rest of the regular Narnians, the fawns, the centaurs, the peoples, 6 giants. And now, friends, time for a halt and a morsel. It's time for more toast.
Yes.
They just had a bit of a journey. Narnia's meeting up at where this person said, "Hey, you need to come here. Shit's going down." Corin sees Shasta through the crowd. It's like one of those, I see the crowd moving, and then you see their face, and then you see the other person's face. Like, oh my goodness.
Or that one fucking... It's not sliding doors, but it's along that line.
Mm-hmm. Corin runs up to Shasta, is amazed that he made it this far. He probably thought that this kid was gonna die, but also, like, you are here? The freaking Splendor High Line only made it to harbor yesterday morning, which was, as we heard when they were in that room, the quickest way to get from Tashban to Narnia. They got there in, we don't know how long, but fucking Shasta and Aravis were able to keep up with the fucking boat. They were going so fast. That's wild. So I
is
understand
bonkers.
why Corin is so shook. Sorry?
Oh, I said that is bonkers.
Yeah.
I was just looking for the map that I have, and this is really not helpful because it's like a zoom in. I wanted to see like, because that that makes sense. We're like traveling across the United States versus like going or like like on a horse
if
and
you're
cart
gonna-
versus a boat where you got to go all the way
From New
around.
York to Florida.
We got to go all the way down all of it.
Yeah, down the coast. Or up the coast, rather, but...
Or like,
Because, yeah, Narnia is kind of like... On,
Oh, I
it's
was
all
still-
on the East Coast.
I was still thinking about the United States. I was like,
Oh.
no. I was like, no. It has to go down and then right. Yeah, whatever. The point is,
They have made it there at the same time because Aslan wishes it so.
mm-hmm.
And now Shasta's freaking out because Edmund is here and he had really wanted to make a good first impression on Edmund, but he ended up kind of having to lie, and then he just bounced and he's like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not a traitor. I never was a traitor. I had no intention of ever telling anybody your secrets. Edmund says,
I know now that you are no traitor, boy. But if you would not be taken for one, another time try not to hear what's meant for others' ears. But all's well.
Edmund's chill. He gets it. He's
Yeah.
like, well, I mean,
He's been a traitor before.
yeah, he understands. And they kind of separate. Everybody's mingling, but we soon hear of Corin again because Edmund is shouting at him. He's like, I would rather have a swarm of hornets to lead, but I've got you. Because Corin kind of got in a little tussle with a dwarf because the dwarf told him that he wasn't going to be allowed to fight in the battle. And he got mad. He's like, well, then I'll fight you. And the dwarf, Thornbutt, says, okay, you're going to fuck around and find out, and we're going to fuck around and find out.
Yeah, taste my thorny butt, bitch.
Yeah, and they start swinging, but right as the fight starts, Thornbutt slips on the loose stones and sprains his ankle really bad, which is going to keep him from fighting in the war or even really walking for a couple weeks. So he's down and out 100%, and they're like taking off his armor.
At least one fortnight.
Oh my god. 2 weeks. Poor
And-
dude.
Yeah.
All for that horsing around because Corin was being a little boy.
Yeah, and Edmund says, great job, ding dong. Now we just lost a warrior right on the edge of battle.
I'll do it.
Pshaw.
Pshaw, dude. You're not gonna do it.
Deadass says, pshaw. No one doubts your courage, but a boy in battle is a danger only to his own side.
Yeah.
Which, bitch, weren't you a traitor boy in battle?
Literally was. And he almost killed the queen. So let's talk about who is useful in a battle.
Or-
Edmund.
Why don't you be fucking accountable, Ed?
Corin sees an interesting opportunity, though, because Ed walks off to do king shit and handle the battle plans. But now there's some small dwarven armor sitting there that would maybe fit Shasta. Corin's already got some armor on. And he tells Shasta, hey, put that shit on. Put it on. And Shasta, like, just starts putting it on. He's like, why? Why am I putting this on? It's like, we're gonna fight in the war, dude! Duh! And Shasta's just like, oh, okay. He's not really sure he wants to or ever wanted to, but I don't really know. Corin has a weird effect on him. He just kind of is like, okay, cool, sure.
Corin hits him with a, once the battle begins, everyone will be far too busy to notice us, which is very reminiscent of our Harry Potter Scooby-Doo crew getting involved when they needn't be, but also, like, kind of had to because, well...
Their numbers were far lower than the Narnia numbers.
I was going to say that's another podcast that we'll never do, but either way, the boys are suited up, ready to go, carrying us all into the next chapter.
Chapter 13, The Fight at Anvad.
Okay.
We're just going to start with the Latin a little bit here. The prefix an, A-N, is a Greek variant of the prefix a, which means not or without. For example, someone who is anonymous, A-N, is not having a name. And vard, from Old Norse varoa, from Proto-Germanic wardo, to perceive, give heed, or be careful, also turning into care, like a ward, kind of hospital, you know. So this Anvard is like without care, which is really a strange definition for a capital city of a country. It's like a city without care.
So where is his Goosecap Highness?
What is Goosecap? I don't know. Is that just like an old British thing? It's the one thing I didn't look up.
I mean, I thought it was just like a silly,
Like a silly, yeah.
yes, a flighty young girl.
A flighty young girl.
A silly
Oh my God.
person is like the main one. So yeah,
Because he's just like, yeah.
yeah, it's like a silly goose.
Goofy, yeah, silly goose. Where's our silly little prince?
Yeah, which I wonder if it's like Goosecap probably became Silly Goose. So Lucy's like, "Where's that goofy goober, silly goose, Goosecap, no cap, all cap, goose, rubber goose, obtuse, guava juice, giant snake, birthday cake, large fries, chocolate shake."
Edmund's like, I don't give a shit. I can't see him, so he's not on the front.
Also, where the fuck is Susan?
Yeah, Shasta asks Corin where Susan is, because he's like, well, Lucy's over there, Edmund's over here. But Susan's back at Cair Paravel. She's not like Lucy, you know, who's as good as a man, or at any rate, as good as a boy. Queen Susan is more like an ordinary grown-up lady.
Boo.
She doesn't like to ride to wars, though she is an excellent archer. It's really interesting that Susan isn't here, even though she was like all crying, all upset that this was all her fault.
It's giving.
If this is your fault, then you should fucking be here at the war trying to stop this from happening.
Susan is giving that whole like, I have the high Q and graduated from Princeton with a degree in political science, but I spent the entire morning picking out dog stationery. That's the energy that Susan's giving with not using
Not
her
being
archery to good use.
And they travel along the same treacherous path that Shasta had come to this place on, except he's only now realizing how treacherous it was in the daylight. This is full on Eustace seeing how scary the trail was. We've seen this before. It doesn't feel super reused though, which I liked. It's different because it's Shasta and I love Shasta, so it's okay. They see eagles in the sky with diamonds.
I was gonna say, eagles in the skies. That's what you are.
Corin points out that the eagles can sense the battle approaching, and they know that the people are providing a feed for the eagles, which is kind of weird and dark and interesting for Corin, but he is a young boy who's never experienced battle and has this like lust and excitement for battle, so it makes sense. He's like, the eagles, they're gonna eat the corpses that we're about to create. It's like, whoa, boy, calm the fuck down. We've talked about eagle symbolism before, and the one that I feel like in this series I settle on most is that they have a special connection to God and are often seen as like God's eyes. He's looking down. So this battle is being watched over. Like, it's not going unseen.
Life is a highway, the world is a bus, God is a DJ, and his eyes are eagles. I'm never forgetting that.
Eagle eyes. They reach a crest. There's lots of reaching of crests and ridges and seeing viewpoints in this story. But
He loves a crest.
also Shasta. Also, most of this story, Aravis was along the journey. And she, as we discovered, her name means potentially like the one who views the altar. And what is the world if not an altar? You know, they are at the top of these ridges looking at these big plateaus of land, at this altar of different countries. Tash Ban is an altar to Tash. Anvard is the capital of Arkenland, potentially the land of worshippers. What is that if not, I mean, she's not seeing this, but it's very interesting that there is all of this viewing of large, huge tracts of land. But when they reach the crest, Shasta can see all of Arkenland, or at least he would be able to if the sun wasn't in his eyes. and this prompts him to create an invention that was so popular it became the sponsor of today's episode. This episode is sponsored by Shasta sunglasses. The sun shall never steal your sight again. The army widens out, everyone's getting their lines in order. Shasta sees the castle of Anvard.
No moat.
How do you have a castle with no moat? Come the fuck on.
I guess
You built walls, didn't you?
I mean, if you've got leopards and panthers, which I did mention earlier, I remember saying that there weren't any other big cats in Narnia, and I know that's incorrect.
Yeah,
and I'm also being proven that that's incorrect, but I just wanted to state for the record that I know that's incorrect. I think I just goofed.
I guess they can usually call upon Narnia for help, and Narnia has all of these big cats. So yeah, they've got heavy cavalry, so they're not worried about moats.
Yeah.
They being Shasta, I guess, sees the Calormene soldiers slamming a battering ram against the gate of the castle. But as this army, the Calormene army, sees the Narnian army approaching, almost instantly a line of soldiers appears out of nowhere on horseback coming towards them. And it's all swords out now, all shields up to the nose, all prayers said, all teeth clenched. It all happens too fast, and Shasta is not battle trained enough to give us a good description of what he was seeing. So Sluis goes to the previously planted handy-dandy magic man, the hermit.
The last thing Shasta thinks before he faints, and we get the hermit's perspective, is, if you funk this, you'll funk every battle all your life. Now or never.
You didn't know he was magical? We already discussed it. He's the star, probably. He's 109. He's at least a magical lord who can gaze into this pool of water that sits in the middle of his home and see things that are happening at different places all over the world while they are happening. He can't see the future. He can't see the past. He can only see the present. And he can't even hear anything that's happening in the place at the time. He can only see it. But it is pretty useful. He probably gets a lot of knowledge of the happenings of the world and can put the message to the right person.
Mm-hmm. It's giving crystal ball.
Yeah. And when Bree and Aravis are there, and they can tell that, there's magic in the air and there's something happening, but they can't really see what the hermit sees. They don't have the sight. They're looking in the crystal ball and they see shadows, but he sees what he sees, and he tells them all that he sees. Which is sees candy. The sponsor.
I wish. We're going to get a cease and desist. That's that on that.
In the pool, the hermit visualizes the eagles, the battering ram, and he tells us that Rabadash should have ridden back to Tashban when his first attack didn't go as planned the night previous, which we didn't see the night previous, but apparently he did attack, but since King Loon had gotten there, they didn't have a very successful one. They left, cut down a tree to build a battering ram, and now are trying to attack the castle and siege it. Rabadash has his trusted couple leaders with him, and although 5 Calormene soldiers have fallen, according to the hermit, it didn't seem likely that many more would. He gives us the name of the trusted couple Tarkhan leaders that Rabadash has with him, which just goes to show he does know a lot of shit. He knows a lot of stuff going on, even without the ability to hear what's going on in these places. So I don't know if he can, zoom in and read what people are writing or something, but...
They have their shields above their heads, so, I mean, maybe it's in the movie version of the Dawn Treader where he had pictures of all of them. Maybe it's just, he knows their shields.
Right.
So, he can't see, yeah.
Because...
In the text it says that he can see their faces, so maybe he's just got zoom, Pevensey, or not Pevensey, the thing that Dumbledore looks into.
Pensieve, yes.
Maybe it's like that.
Where he can he's kind of in the space, but
yeah, maybe it's
non-existent.
You're above.
Because when it's described, I imagined it like the Black Cauldron when the pig puts her face Henwin when she puts her face in the pool, and then he's able to see the future, whatever. But this could be a lot more detailed. Yeah, he's able to see their faces. He calls them out by name, that there's Corridin of Castle Tormund, and Azru, and Clamash, or Shlamash, it's CH, Clamash, and Ilgamath of the Twisted Lip, and a tall Tarkan with a crimson beard, who is Bree's old master, Anradin, and he sees an army approach in the background. So I feel like I agree with you in the pensive, the pensive version where he's in the space, because he seems to be able to look around and see things. He turns and he sees this dark force that is on the ridge, but he doesn't really know who it is. And as they ride down, he's able to see the banners and see that it's the Narnian reinforcements. And now we're going to get the context of what Shasta wasn't able to tell us in his own head.
He can see the cats are coming around in a great big bend, around in a circle to get to the horses and dismount the men. A good stroke. The clawmen are mad with terror already. The cats are in among them. Rabadash has reinformed his line, and 100 men are in the saddle. They're ready to meet the Narnians. There's only 100 yards between the two lines right now, and I can see 50. I can see King Agamemnon. I can see Lord Paradin. There are 2 more men in Narnia on the line. The center's on the metal, and oh my gosh, those are 2 boys again. Lions alive. One is Prince Corin. The other one's just like him. But wait a minute. The press is separated, and then
2 peas in a pod, and realizes that it's Shasta. And now the 3 of them have much more invested interest. Not that they weren't invested in the story before, but now our boy Shasta is here. And they ask, what's happening? He says, he's flailing his sword around. He's not really doing anything. It looks like he might chop his pony's head off. He's not using his shield. His side is exposed, and he's down. And they're like, he's down? Is he alive? Is he dead? Like, what do you mean he's down? The hermit's like, I don't know. I can't see. I can't hear anything. He's down. And then he continues on with his commentating of the battle.
And it looks like the cats have done their work. All the riding, the horses are dead or escaped now. No retreat for the clawmen this time. No, the cats are turning back to the main battle. They're leaping up to the ramsmen. The ram is down. Oh, good God, the gates are opening up from the inside. This is gonna be a sortie. The first 3 are out. It's King Loon in the middle. The brothers Dawn on each side of him. Behind them are the Tarn and the Shah and the Cole with the brother Carwin. There's nearly 10, 20, nearly 30 of them out by now. The Calamine line is being forced back up upon them. King Edmund is dealing marvelous strokes. He's just slashed Corridin's head off. Lots of Calamines have thrown down their arms and they're running into the woods. Those that remain are hard pressed. The giants are closing in right now. Cats on the left, King Loon in the rear, the Cattlemen are a little knot now. The king looks like he's winning. The king's keeping up well. The king is won. Azra's down. King Edmund's down. Oh no, he's up again. He's at it with Rabadash. They're fighting at the very gates of the castle. Several Cattlemen have surrendered. Darren's killed Ilgameth. I can't see what's happening to Rabadash. I think he's dead. He's sitting up against the castle wall. Better know. Clashman and King Edmund are still fighting, but the battle's everywhere else. Shashman has surrendered and the battle's over. The Calamines are utterly defeated.
That was chaos. I'm sorry. Just for you who don't understand Howard Cosell, the Narnians won, and it was a tete-a-tete back and forth of taking down each of the Calamine lords. This time, King Edmund being the champion.
Yeah, because Peter wasn't here.
Where is Peter? Do we remember? He's just back.
I think we might learn shortly later, or we learned when they said Peter's not a car, that he's up north defeating some giants. Which we heard about way long ago in Lion Witch and the Wardrobe, that in the Golden Age, Peter rode north and defeated some giants and whatnot. So, textually it is there. We cut back to Shasta after Narnia has won, and we're informed that horses actually don't tread on humans in a battle as much as you would think. He just kind of lays there for about 10 minutes in shock until he realizes that the battle is over, because it gets really quiet, and then the quiet turns into laughter. So he's like, what the fuck is happening? He gets up and sees that Rabadash is hanging from the castle wall by a hole in his chainmail. He had the upper ground on Edmund and jumped down, shouting, "The bolt of Tash falls from above." But he got caught on a horse hook on the wall, like giving Neville in first year. Like, he's just hung. It says that the chainmail has pulled his arms up like you're trying to get out of a too tight t-shirt.
Oh my god.
So he's looking ridiculous, and he's flailing, and he's trying to get out, and he's shouting all sorts of obscenities, I'm sure.
Black Knight always triumphs.
Yeah.
You yellow-bellied.
Fight me like a man, or just kill me. Edmund's like, all right, bet. And he walks up to just kill him, I'm sure. But Loon's like, whoa, stop.
Oh, no.
Escort him away, and we will figure out what to do with you later. Rabbitash, we're told, would rather have been tortured or killed or something, but to look ridiculous like this and then just led away is worse, because he was always feared and taken seriously in Tashban, and now he's been turned into a joke like that, defeated easily, and now he's being escorted away by the people he was chill with and then tried to defeat, and now is their prisoner.
I love the way that King Loon just hands Rabbitash his ass in this scene, just saying like, yeah, if you would have done this a week ago, it would have been fine, but you are a little coward and you came here in a time of peace to attack us, and therefore you're a traitor and pretty much just a little bitch. So we're gonna take you, bind you, and carry you until we figure out what the fuck we're gonna do with you.
Yeah. See you later, bitch. Bye.
And he's just crying, a big old baby, and we knew he was a big old spoiled baby.
Of course. The king turns around to Corin and hugs him, and he's a little miffed that he was in the battle, but you can tell that he's proud all the same. And then he puts Shasta and Corin together. He says, "Stand here together, boys, and let all the court see you. Hold up your heads now. Now, gentlemen, look on them both. Has any man any doubts?" Any doubts? But
Doubts
like, what
about
is he
what?
talking about? And then we end the chapter happy but confused, just like Shasta's like, wait, what? Any doubts? What?
Yeah, I have some confusion, but I guess our confusion will be answered in the next chapter.
Hopefully. Chapter 14.
How
How
Bree
Bree became a wiser horse. Well, I guess we're going to have to wait, because we cut back to the hermit and the horses.
That's fair. I kind of was wondering what they were up to.
He is able to let them know that Shasta hadn't been killed or even really wounded, but not much else, since he couldn't hear. And when all the talking started, he was like, okay, well, show's over. Hwyn notes that she's quite tired of the hermit's place. There's far too much food and far too little exercising, and she's, quite frankly, bored.
Oh, take these oats away from me.
All this mash is making me...
From me. Is that a real story?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so proud of myself. Thank you.
And although Hwyn is like ready to get out of here, ready to get to Narnia, she's like, the whole point. We ran away to get to Narnia. Let's fucking get to Narnia. Bree is weirdly against it. He's like, no, not quite yet. Like, we'll just wait a little bit. And they're like, well, we have to go see Shasta. He was just in a battle. We have to check in on him. He's our friend. And he's like, yeah, I was going to say that too. But like, he's fine right now. So let's just hang out. Like, we're going to Narnia. It's really important. Like, this is our first time back in our own country. We don't want to look any sort of way. We want to look our best. We want to look really pretty. Hwyn's like,
You want to wait until your tail grows out, bitch?
that's what this is about. We've been here for 3 days because you are scared about your tail. We don't even know if they wear them
Okay.
long in Narnia. They could have cropped tails in Narnia.
Yeah, crop top, hot
Yeah, he's
hot
like,
horse
"What?"
summer.
Exactly. I don't even know. They could wear them cropped. I don't know anything about Narnia. I'm
not-
not prepared.
He's not the pink pony boy. He's not Pink Pony Club. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I thought we already had this conversation, Bree. Like, get the fuck over yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Aravis is like, this is silly. You're being silly. He says, I swear by the lion's mane that I'm not silly. She's like, why are you always swearing by the lion's mane? Like, what is this lion thing? I thought you hated lions. He's like, oh, I do hate lions. What do you mean? Duh, that's the stupid question.
Speak of the lion, meaning Of course. Aslan, the great deliverer of Narnia, who drove away the witch and the winter. All Narnians swear by him.
Capital H, him.
And she's like, okay, but he's a lion, and of course he's not just a lion.
Yeah.
And so Aravis is like, okay, but if he is not a lion, why are you calling him a lion?
Yeah, she's like, all the stories in Tashbaan say that he's a lion, and you're calling him a lion. If it sounds like a lion, and you're calling it a lion.
Bree hits her with the, I didn't get it when I was your age, and I still don't really get it either. And it just,
since he left when he was young, he never really got it explained to him. But he's like, well, it must be like he's as brave as a lion, or he's as strong as a lion. Like, he couldn't be a lion. That's silly. Duh, that's silly. He would just be one of us. If he was a lion, he would just be like another talking animal. And he's so busy going on this rant that he doesn't see Aravis and Hwyn's facial expressions change. He's right behind me, isn't he? And he is. Aslan has appeared behind Bree. It's like Trumpkin, when Trumpkin didn't believe in him and he just appeared. He's like, oh, is this our friend who doesn't believe in me? He just appears. He likes to make a joke. He likes to make a show. Oh, Bree says, indeed, it would be disrespectful if he were a lion. He would have to be a beast just like the rest of us. And he's like, he would have whiskers, and right as he says whiskers, Aslan probably thought it would be funny to brush his whiskers up against Bree. And he's shook as fuck.
Yeah, he bolts, and he says he shoots away like an arrow to the other side of the enclosure and turns, only to see Aravis and Hwyn staring back in intense silence. But
him freaking out kind of seems to break Hwyn out of whatever trance she was in, because she kind of runs up to Aslan and she says, "You're so beautiful." He gives her a little kissy, and
Hwyn says, "You're so beautiful, you may eat me if
she's
you like.
You may.
I'd sooner be eaten by you than fed by anyone else."
Yes. He's like, she gets it.
But
she gets it. Girlie gets it.
Yeah, and he says, "Dearest daughter," planting a lion's kiss on her twitching velvet nose, "I knew you would not be long in coming to me. Joy shall be yours."
He gives her a little lick on the nose. That's so cute.
Yeah, and then he lifts his head and speaks in a louder voice.
Now, Bree, you poor, proud, frightened horse, draw near, nearer still, my son. Do not dare not to dare. Touch me, smell me. Here are my paws. Here is my tail. These are my whiskers. I am a true beast.
Yeah, Aslan is not afraid of who he is. And he wants Bree to experience that, to know him as he is. And maybe not the whole point, but a lot of what I love about Aslan is that he is in the talking lion form, because it puts him on the same level as the talking animals. He is one of them. Although he is their king and he is above them and he is much more magical and powerful, he still abides by the same rules. He still plays along. He still is a beast. He's not a tame lion. I love it. And he is expressing all of that to Bree, and now Bree feels like a fool. And he says, "I've been such a fool."
I can understand how people would draw the connection between Aslan and Jesus, especially in that aspect. I can see how people could draw a connection between Aslan and Jesus in the aspect of humans weren't originally in Narnia. They were brought later, and Jesus is a human, which is like, the quote-unquote smartest species on the planet. So, in our aspect, we have a human Jesus. In Narnia's aspect, they would have an animal spiritual leader. I don't know if any of that means anything or pertains to it, but he is supposed to be a talking beast, or like what you were saying. He is supposed to be one of them. Like, I am just like you.
I'm just like you.
Just like you.
You're just like me.
You're just like me.
Aslan responds to Bree, acknowledging how much of a fool he's been, with "Happy the horse who knows that while he is still young," or the human either. Like we said in the previous episode, it's never a bad idea to change your opinion when given new information. And Aslan approaches Aravis, showing her his sweet velvet petite paw. And what does he say? Like, oh, I will not harm you this time.
Or he says, "See, my paws are velveted. You will not be torn this time."
And she goes, "This time?"
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah, secret's out. Cat's out
Right.
of the bag.
He says, "It was I who wounded you. I am the only lion you met in all your journeys. Do you know why I tore you?"
No, sir.
The scratches on your back, tear for tear, throb for throb, blood for blood, were equal to the stripes laid on the back of your stepmother's enslaved person. Because of the drugged sleep you cast upon her, you needed to know what it felt like.
Yes, sir. Please,
Ask on, my dear.
will any more harm come to her by what I did?
Child, I am telling you your story, not hers. No one is told any story but their own.
This is the moral of this story.
Right.
Nobody is told any story but their own.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but then he, shaking mane, speaking a lighter voice.
Be merry, little ones. We shall meet soon again. But before that, you will have another visitor.
And then he jumps over the wall and disappears. See, this is the regular Aslan exit.
Kitty cat. Pounce.
Bow.
Pounce, pop.
He's really bouncing around a lot in this story.
He's got shit to do.
Yeah, he normally doesn't play this much of an active role in the story. He's normally just more of a viewer, an energy, an ambiance over Lucy's shoulder.
Mm-hmm. I
But-
think he's been bored for the past couple books. He's like, I need more screen time.
Yeah, and this is the golden age.
About a half hour later, the two horses were summoned back to the house to eat something nice that the hermit had got ready for them. And Aravis, still walking and thinking, was startled by the harsh sound of a trumpet outside the gate.
Outside that gate. His Royal Highness Prince Cor of Arkenland desires an audience with the Lady Aravis. Did I hear that right? Prince Cor, not Prince Corin.
I don't know. Maybe it's a lazy nickname. Oh, wait a minute.
She saw he was a mere boy. He was bareheaded, and his fair hair was encircled with a very thin band of gold, hardly thicker than a wire. His upper tunic was of white cambric, as fine as a handkerchief, so that the bright red tunic underneath showed through. His left hand, which rested on his enameled sword hilt, was bandaged, just like someone else we saw earlier in the story. It's Shasta? Shasta's the lost prince? I didn't even know that there was a lost prince in this book.
I don't understand. That makes King Loon his father?
But father, I don't want...
So I've been angry about this for decades. So you have twin sons, and you name one Corin, and then the other one you just name Cor, not even Cor out.
Well, technically, Cor is the eldest, so he was named Cor, and then the other one is named Corin.
That's even worse.
It's just it's the way that they do it in Arkenland. That's, you read it earlier. There's what, Dar and Darin, Cole and Colin.
Cole and Colin are different names.
Yeah, that's what I said too when I was reading it. I was like, that's not the same. But that's just how they do it. They're just like a little fun and funky in Arkenland, where if they have two sons, they basically name them the same name, except one is just half of the other name.
That's so disrespectful to their souls, but whatever. I can't get mad about fictional souls.
Did I ever do a name origin for Corin? I must have.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry, now I have to check. All I was able to find is that cor, C-O-R, the Latin root, it means heart. In one of its earliest forms, the word courage meant to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. Courage is a heart word. So basically, they're both named Courage or they're both named Heart, which is cute, but also boring because you named your sons the same name.
I could see it being like one is courage and one is heart. Like,
Yeah, that's probably what it is. One is courage, one is heart. That's kind of cute. Heart. Kind of cutie.
courage.
He tells Aravis that he didn't show up like this to impress her. Like, his clothes were all fucked up, but his real name is Cor. And she goes, "Oh, it's much prettier than Shasta," which I don't think so. I think Shasta is way prettier than Cor. It's so harsh.
I mean, core versus like knowing that the other person's name is Corin, and I think maybe if like I think of Shasta Cola. Like, I know there's Mount Shasta. I know I've been to Lake Shasta. Like, it's a beautiful area. It's a very important part of the country, especially for the indigenous people of that area. And yet, I just think of Shasta Cola, which, like, I think most people can argue has the worst orange ever. Like, I mean, orange soda is usually, it's kind of like root beer. Like, it's usually pretty hit, for me at least. But for whatever reason, Shasta Cola orange, it's like someone mixed it with, like, paint.
Double thumbs down.
Disgusting.
Aravis apologizes for being a pig. Again, she apologize for being a pig with Laz, but
No, that's Jill. Oh wait, you.
I
Yeah,
think
I don't know.
she
If
did.
I don't know if she said pig. But...
I might have just said pig that time because of Jill, but
Mm.
then this time she actually does in the text apologizes for being a pig, which is very British.
We might as well have Cor explain his lore.
That's good. About a week after the twins, Cor and Corin, were born, they went to visit a centaur, as they probably did when famous people were born. You know, see if there's a prophecy about them. Why not? It's very Grecian, but it happened. And this centaur prophesies that Cor would save Archenland from the deadliest danger in which she ever lay. But unbeknownst to the king, they had a rat. Lord Barr had been selling secrets to the Tisroc, and upon hearing the prophecy, he's like, I have to get rid of this kid. I have to get rid of him. He somehow is able to kidnap him, sails down the Winding Arrow to the ocean, and after, I think they say 7 days, and on the 8th day, or they chase him for 6 days, and on the 7th day, they have a battle on the ocean, ship to ship. The king wins this battle. They get aboard the boat, but the baby isn't there anymore because Lord Barr is really good, really sneaky. He, during the battle, had his general or a captain, somebody, take the baby on a smaller boat and sail off the rest of the way toward Tashban, so that I'm sure that Tisroc would be able to take care of the baby himself and kill it or whatever. But that's the same boat that Aslan ended up pushing so that Arshish would find Cor/Shasta. And Shasta says, I wish I knew that knight's name, for he must have kept me alive and starved himself to do it.
And Aravis says, I suppose Aslan would say that was part of someone else's story.
And then they share a little knowing look because they've both had Aslan experiences now.
Mm-hmm. And Aravis is like, oh, I wonder how the prophecy's going to work and, you know, what the great danger is that you're going to save Archenland from. And Cor is just like, I think
it just happened.
Didn't we just do that? And she's like,
oh, yeah.
lol. So are you proud, boy?
He's kind of like, I'm kind of scared. I don't know. But the real reason he has come to this place is to ask if Aravis wants to come live with them in the castle of Anvard. He said that his father said that there wasn't any ladies in the court since his mother passed away, and that they needed a woman's opinion in the castle and would love to have her. And he tries to like over explain it, and she's like, "Shut up. Yes, I'll go with you." It's so cute. She says
really
like, "Shut up,"
sweet.
before we have a real argument. Yes, I'll
Mhm.
go with you.
Like, oh my gosh, it's just really sweet. It's the kind of chosen magical family that you'd expect from a Narnian prince. I think it's really cute because they have this whole meeting and we get like, it's like a very crammed, quick wrap up for Shasta's character. Like, there's the lore behind where I came from and whatnot, but I really just want to go see the horses. And Shasta/Core doesn't say our horses. He says, let's go see the horses.
Super cute.
And there's a really great and joyous meeting between Bree, Core, Quinn, and Aravis, and just, really cute kissy, just really, I don't know, I think the type of affectionate greeting you would expect from I don't know. I think the reason why they're allowed to have the classic horse greeting and kissing is because they have the human emotions that we're not supposed to give to animals. So like,
Right.
it's like, yes, you may kiss my sweet horsey nose.
And after they have their super, super wonderful horsey reunion, they decide now's the time. Now that Core is here, Bree doesn't really have a choice. It's onward to Anvard and then to Narnia. They get all the way there, and it's like, we're almost there. Like, it's just around the corner. We're going to be back at Anvard.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, this is it.
Yeah, this is my last chance to really just get my wiggles out. And like the concept of the image of a horse throwing themselves on the ground to do like a wiggle scratchy is so cute. And it's just, I mean, I don't know. I think he should have enjoyed
He's going to get
it.
more. He's going to get more, but he feels as if he's not going to be able to do it because talking horses wouldn't.
Yeah.
Quinn's like, I'm going to roll in Narnia. I don't give a shit.
Right. He's made up rules and gatekept what a talking horse is supposed to be. And like, that makes sense because when you grow up on the precipice of something, sometimes when you finally get to throw yourself into it, you go really hard and you do really stupid, dumb things. And, unfortunately for our buddy, he can't really enjoy this moment, and he kind of looks like a horse going to a funeral rather than a long last captive returning to home and freedom. But whomst better doesn't understand freedom and how they're supposed to enjoy it, like, more than someone who's been held captive.
Right.
Like, he's been enslaved. He's been made to think he's lesser than. So it's, you got some trauma to unpack from your saddle there, buddy.
Roll out.
Roll in the hay, and we're gonna
Yeah.
keep on rolling right into the next chapter.
Chapter 15.
Rabadash the Ridiculous.
They arrive to Anvard very shortly after Bree's, quote, 1 minute roll in the grass that was about 5 minutes long. King Loon meets them at the gate in dirty old clothes, which is very surprising for Aravis to see a king dressed this way. But he was just at the dog kennels cleaning them out, and he had to wash his hands before he came to greet them, but didn't have time to change his clothes. But when he grabs her hand and bows, she immediately knows that he is more kingly than anyone would ever need to be, or whatever. But it kind of reminds me of that scene from The Crown where Elizabeth is all mucky in the horse stables, and it's like, yes.
You mean Lilibet?
Yes.
She didn't want to be there. She didn't want
She didn't want to be.
Well, now she's dead.
Loon is a great guy. Total brick.
He's a brick.
He apologizes to Aravis that his departed wife couldn't be here to give her a better, warmer welcome. and also apologizes that she had to flee her home.
Maybe it's the Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat brainwashing that I've had, but the fact that he starts the sentence with little lady just makes me hear it like, little lady, we bid you a very hearty welcome.
He's really chill in Elvis seat.
Hey, Aravis.
I'm so sorry I had to leave you home and that your family was gonna sell you off.
I don't understand why it's necessary to mention his clothes. Almost like, what, they need a lady there to do the laundry? I'm waiting for it. I'm braced for it. It seems unnecessary.
I think that it's just all of the kings and royally people that we've seen thus far have all been described very jewel heavy. All of these, you know that they're a king right when you look at them because of how they're dressed. And he's like in old clothes and they've got holes and stains and like so she's like, this peasant is the king.
Yep, the last crusade. It's the Holy Grail.
He's like, no, I'm humble. I'm just humble because I was cleaning out my own dog kennels because I work with the rest of the people around me.
Yep, you chose well. Yep, nope, I would have died. I would have been turned to dust there. There we go.
He's the first person to acknowledge how awful of a choice it was that Aravis had to make, like leaving her family. He's like, I'm so sorry that you had to do that. Like, it must feel awful to leave your family behind, like regardless of the circumstances. And nobody's really said anything to her about how she must feel about having to leave her family behind. They just kind of put their 2 cents on it, whether or not they think that she's making the right choice or not. And the only 2 people that we've really spoken to are Shasta and Laz about it, but it's 2 children.
Yeah, she is a child. It's complicated feelings because, as an adult, all I can think is, well, those people were the ones who were putting you in that circumstance. But I understand what it's like to miss people who have hurt you, like, especially like in the familiar, it's a complicated thing.
Right. It still hurts, and it's okay that you miss them, and it's okay that it hurts. And it's good. Yeah. It's still good that you left.
It's leading with a feeling like, oh, you probably feel this way. And even if they do, I think it's better to just, whatever. The point is, don't lead people into feelings. Let them tell you how they feel. But it is very sweet the way that he welcomes them. And the best part is, Queen Lucy is there, and she pops out and joins them.
She's like, your apartment's ready.
Yeah, whatever. Apparently she does apartment stuff. Yeah, so...
Lucy's the interior decorator of Anvard, apparently, because she's like, Aravis, your room is just about ready. I just need your opinion on this color palette for these bedspreads and these curtains here. And they just kind of click and walk off, and she gets to pick paint samples and fabric choices for her room.
It's really giving, like, when they do a reboot of a show and then, like, the actor or actress or
the cameo of an old actress.
Yeah, or like when Demi Moore shows up in a sitcom or whatever. I don't know why that was the actor I thought of. But
the
just
Mean Girls when she's
when Lindsay Lohan
is the mathlete.
Yeah, the limit does not exist. And that's kind of what it is, where it's like, oh, Lucy is here, but we're just gonna like have her here for a minute because yes, she is important, but also she is not, like, she's really just an anchor at this point to keep our focus on the world, because like, even though I loved it, let's face it, we all kind of lost it with the silver chair a little bit.
Yes. After a terrace lunch of kikiing and having a great time, they have to leave and deal with Rapidash. But before they deal with Rapidash, can you please tell me what they did have for lunch?
Oh, yeah. They got cold bird, they got cold game bird, they got wine, they got bread, they got cheese.
So they're eating leftovers.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, after a battle night, I'm down. I'm down for some cold. It sounds like Thanksgiving leftovers.
I'm always down for bread and cheese.
Cold cheese, cold bread, cold butter. Give it to me.
Bread.
Paradin is ready to deal with Rapidash. He says, we have every right to kill him. He's a traitor. He broke the peace. He tried to kill us. Like, we should just kill him. And Edmund speaks up, says, it is very true, but even a traitor may mend. I have known one that did, and he looked very thoughtful. And I just love post-wardrobe adult Edmund so much. Even, yeah, just post-Lion Witch, when he's back in Prince Caspian and he sides with Lucy, and in Don Tret, like, he just turns around so quick and so hard, and never once ever for 1 second does he think about changing his mind. It is on the forefront of his mind every second that he made that mistake, and he will never make it again.
I think people can have like those character defining turning moments where it's like, no, I don't like being this way. I want to be different. I want to be better. And you can have that tremendous turnaround. What's really goofing my brain is that the Dawn Treader hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
Like, that Edmund doesn't exist. And it's so wild and it's so goofy goober. But
And
like,
neither does the Prince Caspian Edmund that I just mentioned. The Dawn Treader or the Prince Caspian, because
my
they
God.
have yet to leave Narnia for the first time.
Oh, you're right. Fuck.
But they can't really decide on what to do with Rapidash. Lucy's like, we could just let him go and say that if he tries something else, then we'll kill him fair and square. Edmund's like, yeah, okay, well, maybe also, what does he say? Also, apes will learn to tell the truth or something like that.
It says maybe apes will grow honest.
But maybe next time they'd be able to kill him fair and square. So, you know, we'll see.
Put him on trial.
Yeah, King Loon's like, no, we're just going to put him on trial. I'm the king here. I'm deciding this is my jurisdiction. He attacked me. We're putting him on trial. And he comes out, he being Rapidash, comes out of his room. He was not in a cell.
He's hot.
He's hot. He's
Anger.
all haggard. He looks rough. It looks like he was stuck in a basement cell with no water.
More like Rabid Dash.
He was actually in like a nice princely estate room. He just shouted and stomped and threw a fit all night and dehydrated himself with crying and didn't drink any of the water that he was provided, and now he looks awful.
Yeah, he's like a grumpy child who's dysregulated and refuses to do anything to take care of themselves because they're mad.
And now he's put in front of a crowd and he's upset that he looks awful, and he's upset that he's here, and he doesn't want to comply, and he doesn't want to do anything, and he doesn't want to hear their conditions for leaving alive. They're like, we're gonna maybe let you leave alive actually because we're cool, but you're gonna have to hear our conditions. And he's like, fuck you, I don't give a shit, I don't want to hear it. Like, Tash is gonna come down on you like a motherfucker. I don't care, I'm done, I'm out of here, let me go. They're like, we're not gonna just, no, you're not in charge here.
He is just like the most prepubescent whiny little cunt. Like the way he's acting, it's like, yeah, literally when you give a child options and they're like, no, I'm gonna do this thing that other, you're like, yeah, like you cannot do that, so you're just gonna pout like a little bitch.
Terrible shall the vengeance of the Tisrock be, even now. Even though he knows that the Tisrock said he's not gonna take revenge, he's threatening the Tisrock's revenge. But kill me, and the burnings and torturings of these northern lands shall become a tale to frighten the world 1,000 years hence. Beware, 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 the bolt of Tash falls from above. Does it ever get caught on a hook halfway? How's it, Corin? Oh, I had to pause to like literally laugh when I read that. This is, I think, the funniest things Lewis has written. Even though Corin immediately gets chastised by Loon. Shame, Corin. Never taunt a man save when he is stronger than you. Then, as you please. So if Rapidash was, fighting him, had his sword, was on the up and up, then you can mock him. But he is already looking pretty rough. But it was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
While Rapidash is freaking the fuck out, beware, 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 everybody just stands up. Like they're saluting somebody, and Shasta's like, what the fuck is going on? But he stands up because something is going on, and he knows how to play along with everybody else.
And then he sees why they've all stood up.
Aslan has appeared. He immediately talks to Rapidash and warns him that his doom is near. to forget his pride and accept the king's demands. Rabadash rolls his eyes and spread out his mouth into a horrible, long, mirthless grin like a shark, and wagged his ears up and down. He had always found this very effective in Calormen. This worked, I guess, in Calormen. I don't really understand why. Well, I mean, I do understand why, because he had the power to kill the people that disobeyed him in those situations, and he has got no power.
Yeah,
here.
it's easy to frighten them, but you can have them boiled alive. It's in my head. I'm like, it sounds like a very weak-willed Haka
Yeah,
kind of energy, like just not quite as intense. But Aslan says,
Rabadash, take heed. Your doom is very near, but you may still avoid it. Forget your pride. What have you to be proud of? And your anger, who has done you wrong, and accept the mercy of these good kings.
Right. Like, you're a spoiled prince. Nobody's done anything to you. Like, calm down.
right? And this face he's making, yeah, no one's goofed. Lucy thinks he's gonna puke, and then the prince
Right.
just starts shrieking. Demon! 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 I know you! You are the foul fiend of Narnia! You are the enemy of the gods! Learn who I am, horrible phantasm! I am descended from Tash, the inexplorable, the irresistible! The curse of Tash is upon you! Lightning in the shape of scorpions shall be rained upon you! The mountains of Narnia shall be ground into dust!
Have a care, Rabadash. The doom is nearer now. It is at the door. It is lifted the latch.
He's like, are you sure you want to fucking do this? You're gonna put the curse of Tash on me, Rabadash? Are you sure you want to play this game?
Yeah, then do you have this quote? What he says? Let the skies fall, let the earth gape, let blood and fire obliterate the world. Be sure I will never detest till I have dragged to my palace by her hair the barbarian queen, the daughter of the dogs, the...
And Aslan has had enough of whatever he was about to say about our dear Susan.
Bing bong.
And everybody starts to laugh at what is happening to Rabadash. Your doom is here. Aslan has turned him into an ass. A donkey, to be specific. And he was like able to speak for a little bit. Until he is turned into a full donkey, so he's as a donkey, and he's like, even a horse, ee-haw,
Yeah, like it's a
ee-haw."
gradual transition, not like instantaneous.
Yeah.
Like he's morphing in that really creepy, awful Animorph kind of way
Yes.
into a donkey.
Where it takes like 2 minutes.
Yeah, until all you can hear is the bray of the donkey.
And I listened to the audiobook for this chapter. It was honestly really good, the way he did it. Just reading the audio and hearing him transition from even a horse to the ee-haw of the donkey was good.
Mm-hmm.
And Aslan does say that there's some mercy with this justice that has happened to Rabadash.
He won't always be an ass.
You have appealed to Tash, and in the temple of Tash you shall be healed. You must stand before the altar of Tash and Tashban at the great autumn festival this year, and there, in the sight of all Tashban, your ass's shape will fall from you, and all men will know you for Prince Rabadash. But as long as you live, if you ever go more than 10 miles away from the great temple in Tashban, you shall instantly become again as you are now. And from that second change, there will be no return.
Speaking of Animorphs, spoilers for Animorphs. So you can stay in Tashban or be an ass forever.
Yep. And then a short silence, and then, Aslan's gone.
Disappears. Everyone kind of wakes up as if they were kind of from a dream, stunned. This is the same energy as when he appeared in the Deathwater Island, where he just kind of has some sort of ripple effect on your mind where when he disappears and you're just like, zonked.
And I love this part. King Loon, he forgets all his anger when he sees what's happened to Prince Rapidash and apologizes to him for the extremity, and
he was gonna let him go.
Yeah.
He was gonna let him go, like, basically scot-free, probably.
right. He said, just, I didn't do it, and I'm sorry. And he, Aslan said this, so we'll get you the best carrots and a really nice cattle boat. But the donkey just starts, he starts kicking the guard, and it's pretty clear that the donkey, he's like, now, fuck you, fuck your guards, fuck your carrots, fuck your boat. Fuck you. And Sluis gives us a quick little wrap up on Rapidash.
Yeah, he's like, let's just wrap up Rapidash because I don't want to talk about him anymore.
He's sent back to Tash. He goes to the Great Autumn Festival. He becomes a man again, to the witness of 4,000 to 5,000 people. So
They all saw it.
can't really cover it up. But eventually the old Tizrock dies and Rapidash becomes the Tizrock in his place. And he is the most peaceful Tizrock Calorman has ever known, because he didn't dare to go more than 10 miles from Tashbam, and he couldn't really go to war on himself, and essentially his boundaries and his parameters and his shock collar, his ass collar, made him a peaceful man.
Right. And he couldn't send out other Tarkans to battle for him, because then they would get more glory than him, and could challenge his place as the Tizrock. So he's like, nobody's going to war. There's no wars anywhere. We're staying here. We're going to trade. They called him Rapidash the Peacemaker to his face. But behind his back, and also in the history books of Tashbaan after his death, he will forever be known as Rapidash the Ridiculous.
Yeah, it becomes an insult where if you make a ding-dong mistake, people will ask you if you're a second Rapidash.
It's like the coming of the Antichrist is the second coming. Are you the next Rapidash? You idiot!
But
Now the real
meanwhile,
party.
yeah. Meanwhile, at Anvard, everyone is very glad that he's been disposed of. They've got dozens of lanterns to help the moonlight. Wine flowed, and the tales were told, and jokes were cracked, and the silence was made as the king's poet and two fiddlers stepped out into the middle of the circle.
Yeah, the story that they hear is more of like a song, kind of like a bard thing. And then Bree tells a war story, and then Lucy tells the story of the wardrobe, which everybody had heard except for Aravis and Kor, which is just so cute that, like, Lucy's out there telling the story, and I would love to hear it when she comes through and she talks about Tumnus and
London World.
Yeah, and I know that she is never going to paint Edmund in a bad light.
I guess she probably doesn't remember. How does she remember? I thought they couldn't really remember that.
Right? So is she retelling the story that has been told to her, like, fisherman stories? Kind of where she's going to say, well, I came from this land of Spare and, all of this stuff. Maybe. We'll never know. We weren't there to hear the story. We just know that the story was told.
Besides, now that it's been a really long day, I think it's time for the young people to go to bed.
Yes. Especially because Kor is going to have a long day tomorrow with King Loon. He's told he has to go see all of the lands and all of the people and all the things that he's going to be looking over when he's king after Loon is dead and gone.
Wait, but isn't Corrin gonna be king?
Well, actually, Kor is the eldest son of the two twins.
The crown comes to he, but he doesn't want it.
But neither does Corrin.
Well, yeah, it's like, too bad. I mean, but fair argument. They're twins. They must be the same age. But the king laughs and's like, no, dude, like one has to come first. I'm sure there are like very particular circumstances where, like, maybe if you were doing like a cesarean birth, like they could, I don't know, I feel like the doctor, like,
I feel like coming out within the same minute, but they're not, they're not scooping them both out.
Yeah, like, no, it would be like
someone would be first.
Yeah, like it would just be absolutely insane that they would both come out at the exact same time. Like
someone's always
like,
first.
Like the person
unless
giving
the
birth
person
would die.
Explodes.
Yeah, it's like some alien shit. Anyway,
yeah, he's born 20 minutes 20 minutes his senior.
That makes him king.
King, eldest. But as we learned from Peter and Caspian, sometimes the best fit is the person who doesn't really want it or doesn't think that they are worthy of the position. Corin, on the other hand, is so happy he doesn't have to be king. Princes get to do all the fun stuff. And Loon says, yeah, he's right. For this is what it means to be a king. To be first in every desperate attack, and last in every desperate retreat. And when there's hunger in the land, as must be now and then in bad years, to wear finer clothes and laugh louder over a scantier meal than any man in your land. You know, you gotta be the face of your people. You have to, if you give up, everybody's giving up. You're the hope. You have to provide the hope. Even if you're eating peas and peas, you'd better be the best peas you've ever peed.
This episode is sponsored by Peasy Bees. Peasy Bees. Choosy kids and choosy mom. Choose Peasy Bees.
Choosy Peas is not made from real peas, but made from real peas.
One more flawed attempt from Cor to get Corin to take over the kingdom.
He's like, are you sure?
And Corin's
you
like,
don't
if you
wanna-"
say another word about it, I'll knock you down, bitch. Papa said knock you down, excuse me. Sluis gives us a cute moment saying that it would be nice to end the story by saying the two brothers never quarreled ever again, but of course they quarreled the normal and regular and healthy amount for two brothers.
Yes, and they usually ended with Cor getting knocked on his ass because he may be the best in the battlefield, but Corin is the best boxer, like hand-to-hand combatant in all the land, earning him the name Corin Thunderfist. Please welcome to the stage, Corin Thunderfist. He fought a talking bear, bare-handed, and won. It was the lapsed bear of Storm Ness, a talking bear that had reverted to its old ways, similar to the bear in Prince Caspian that almost gets loose, but probably a little more dangerous because it seemed like it was more of a choice for this bear to revert to its old ways. Although this is when Cor and Corin are grown up, and this battle that we just see happen in this book is in the Narnian year 1014. So the Pevensies are about to disappear back to London World in 1 year. Who's to say that this lapsed bear of Storm Ness wasn't the first of the talking beasts to revert, like the beginning of the draining of the Narnian energy now that the kings and queens are leaving. Even Susan isn't going to battle, like the king and queen magical rule of the land is draining. They even just had an attack on their land. Like, Narnia is not, the golden age is ending.
This is the ending of the golden age of Narnia. Golden age of Narnia. Of Narnia.
This is
Narnia. Sorry.
This is, I guess, a great point to bring up my headcanon that I thought of earlier while recording. So, like I said, this book happens in the Narnian year 1014, and they're about to leave. If we back all the way to the year 1001, or 10, I think it might just be an even flat year 1000. I took a trip to the year 1000, when the kids defeat the White Witch and are crowned kings and queens of Narnia. And Aslan walks away. He's going to do something. He's got somewhere else to be, other lands to be doing his stuff in. And this is 14 years ago, right when Cor went missing. What if, when Aslan left the coronation, he was going to push the boat for Cor to survive? He's like, I gotta go leave because I have to be somewhere at a very important time, so I would love to stay and kiki with Lucy, my heart, but I have to go. Because we know he didn't want to leave, but he left because he's a wild lion.
He's not.
He can't be tamed, blah, blah, blah. But also, he had other places to be. I remember calling it out. I was like, what other countries? Where is he going? What else does he have to do? What do you mean? He just fought the big bad. This is what else he had to do. Headcanon accepted for myself. I'm never going to change my mind. Aslan is leaving Cair Paravel at the end of the Lion Witch in the Wardrobe to push the boat for Kor to survive. 10 out of 10. Loved it. That's some... I don't know if that was placed there, but if it was, good writing, Lewis. That's some good shit. I love it.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
And we have... Honestly, that was enough of a fun headcanon revelation to push me through how boring the end of this book was. Because normally there's like a big Aslan lore dump, and we didn't really get that. It kind of happened earlier when he was like, I was the lion, but like we kind of already knew all that. There was no...
It was a little lazy.
Yeah, it just was like,
It amplified.
Here's the end. So I was glad that I did a little year timeline stuff, because then I had that revelation that maybe it was indeed.
Well, yeah, a quick little wrap up. Aravis and Kor, like so many other characters with lazy writers, end up quarreling so much that they decide to get married so they can do it more conveniently.
Ron and Hermione.
And when King Loon dies, they are king and queen of Archenland, and Ram the Great, the most famous of all the kings of Archenland, was their son. And Bree and Hwyn lived happily to a great age in Narnia, and both got married, but not to one another.
No, because Bree's actually a gay horse.
And there weren't many months in which one or both of them didn't come trotting over the pass to visit their friends at Arnvad.
Fiend.
And Fiend.
It's a sweet treat ending, but it's lazy, and like I said, I wanted lore, I wanted
more. Yeah.
But these are... It feels as though these being this book and maybe the next one, although the next one is lore, so I take it back.
More lore.
This book is just kind of a fun story. I like for him. It seemed like a side project more than anything that he turned into a book. There's not really any sort of consequence. Nothing really happens except for that fun headcanon, I guess.
Well, what about Rapidash? I guess,
yeah, it turned Calormen into a peaceful place for the next probably 50 plus years while Rapidash was peaceful.
I think it fleshes out the Pevensies lore. It gives us a fun, cute little prophecy, and then it kind of seems like the major theme for this book is pride, folly, and also being humble, and the wisdom to know the difference. And all the characters have some sort of pride hiccup. Like with Shasta, it's not knowing what's going on and kind of being poor. With Aravis, it's being a princess. Everybody has their own hiccup, or the thing that's preventing them from making this task happen more fluidly, I guess. I don't know.
It's kind of a hubris tale, but not to the extent that their pride causes any of them harm. And I think that is because our characters are so young, and this is their first... They might be older than 8-year-old or 9-year-old Lucy for their first Narnian Aslan experience, but this is still their first experience. This is a whole new experience. As we've said many, many times, Shasta just his world blew up from the first 14 years of his life. All he saw was fish and fish and fish.
Sometimes net.
Sometimes some nets.
But
yes,
mostly fish.
But mostly. And then he was seeing desert and temples and fucking eating Calormen High King food, and then the desert and the ravine and Archenland and Narnia, and his experience was just like, it reminds me of when you take a dog in the car and they're just like, oh my god.
It's very reminiscent of Eustace. Instead of a closed off, snippy little bimbit, we have a sheltered, mild mannered, thoughtful boy. You know, I think we've had enough of the ego in our main characters, and now it was time to dish it out other places. And I guess Arvis did have ego, but not the same way Rapidash did.
No, it was nice. It was subtle. It was definitely a little more real. And I think what you said earlier about this book kind of being there to flush out the Pevensies lore is really valid, because they were our mains. They're definitely in his head, so I think that this story may have initially been a continuation of the Pevensies story, with Susan going to get married and then not, and the whole story. And maybe he pivoted to having that view from an outside, you know?
Yeah, no, my brain's just like, it's like an American Horror Story where like sometimes they would like in like
Yeah.
you know, in the first few seasons, like sometimes they try to like connect them and then they would just go off the rails again, and then they would connect them again. And yeah, except this is a little bit more fluid and thoughtful. No offense to American Horror Story. I was totally there for the ride, but
there we have it.
yeah, that's it. That's
The Horse and His Boy.
I can't believe we've come this far. We've read this. I mean,
There's only 2 more books.
can you believe it? We've read 5 books. We've watched 3 movies. We have worked harder than anyone else this year.
Yeah, anyone.
It's us. Hi, it's us. We worked the hardest this year. You're welcome.
This book was,
It was more boring than I remembered it being.
yeah, it was fun when it was fun, but
Yeah.
it was more boring. And I don't know if I said it on the pod, but that this was like a history book of Narnia.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads like that. It's very, this is what happened and this place here. And we do get, like I said, some nice real character development and some more whoosh 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 to them. That's the technical term, I think.
It's a slow build to the characters.
Yes, but it was fun to learn more about the lore of Narnia, with Tash and Tashban, and that he's, the god, and they've got a couple other gods that they worship.
I think also, as the resident nerd in the room right now, only on this particular subject, because I have read this book more, just because shit happens. Sometimes we get things confused. But the way that I read it, I think this was the 3rd one. So it went Magician's Nephew, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then it was The Horse and His Boy, whatever. Like when I read it, it kind of made more sense chronologically, but the way that we're doing it, especially after the Silver Chair, it is a little bit. But I am really excited to put our saddle and our bridles up dry and clean, so we can scurry on back to merry old London world for the Magician's Nephew. I'm very excited to crack it open.
Oh, I am so excited. Even just like when I came over earlier and we were barely talking about it, I was like, wait, shit. Oh my god, it's gonna be so fun. We will finally get to connect a lot of random Easter eggs and other things that made sense but will be a little more fun, or didn't really make sense as to why there was so much attention on it in the book. And I'm sure that I will have a lot more realizations that I have never had, because I've never read them to this extent, and it's been so fun.
I think it'll be more fun because initially, fun fact, when we start off the podcast, we were going to start with The Magician's Nephew, even to the tune of recording the whole episode, but we both agree, without even having to listen to it again, that we 100% need to re-record, because we can't like have gone on this journey and then just like go back to the beginning and fuck about. Absolutely not.
No,
We're not
no.
going back to like going back to the beginning and then just farting in our hands.
No, we have gotten so much more familiar. Or at least, speaking for myself, I've gotten so much more familiar with the world of Narnia, how the magic works, like how Lewis writes, and the allegories he likes to make. Maybe not all of them, but I feel like I'm catching a lot more of them. So I am quite excited to dive back into Magician's Nephew with this fresh aspect. I'm sure I'm going to be doing lots of name origins and stuff, so be prepared, y'all.
I'm excited to read The Magician's Nephew in publication order because now, tucking into it, we have so much knowledge about the history of Narnia that I feel like we're not going to miss as many little things. Hopefully it's going to be really fun and chock full of rich stuff, name origins, land origins, world origins.
I'm also definitely going to be purchasing that Narnia companion novel that I mentioned. I don't think that it's going to arrive in time for our recording of Magician's Nephew, but I just want to read it in general because I read a couple little articles about his thoughts on Narnia and I liked it. And if you would like to go and purchase this, it's called Companion to Narnia, A Complete Guide to the Magical World of C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia. It is by Paul F. Ford. And there's also a foreword by Madeline Lengel, who I think did all of the illustrations for at least the copy that I have. I think that's the name is really familiar. I'll have to look it up.
The author of...
I know the name.
Oh my god. The Wind in... No, not A Wind in the Door. No. Oh my god. Oh my god.
A Wrinkle in Time.
Fucking... Yeah, A Wrinkle in Time.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's why I know the name.
Okay, well, you know what? I still get brownie points because I knew it was her. And, like, I saw the horse person thing on the cover. I was
I was just gonna say,
should we do that?
If we wanted to do another podcast, I would 100% be down to do
so here
The
for
Wrinkle in
that.
Time. I
Yes.
loved The Wrinkle in Time.
Yes.
So I had a copy of The Wrinkle in Time,
pretty
and
sure
then I also had a copy of the quartet. I think there's only 4 books, so it would be real.
Is A Wind in the Door one, or is that
sticky.
just...
I think it's A Wrinkle in... Do you have the full quartet here?
Hang on. I think I just have a Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, I don't have them anymore. Oh, I loved them. I think A Wind Through the Door is a book.
Time Quintet.
The Time Quintet.
A Wrinkle in Time, A Wind in the Door,
Yes.
A Swiftly Tilting Planet, Many Waters, and An Acceptable Time. The last book, guess what year it came out? The year I was born!
Yeah! Oh my god, okay. So I think it's settled. I think that after Narnia, we're gonna dive into A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, because I think it's been
It's so fun.
It's been so much fun going through this, and it's never. I think it's mostly been fun because it's never been about who's listening. It's all about how much joy it brings us, and then also having the fun novelty of not being able to talk to one of my best friends about massive subjects. It creates this like really silly game in our friendship where we want to talk about a subject, but we know we have to wait to discuss it on the pod because it's okay. It's okay to rehearse things, but I think that there's a better authenticity when we wait to speak about certain subjects, so we can both like surprise each other, or more often than not, you can just tell me that I'm wrong.
Oh my god.
In a polite, respectfully.
Well, I did always identify with Charles Wallace from Wrinkle in Time. So
That makes so much sense.
I was
And
100%.
guess who I really...
Meg.
No, Mrs. What's It. Yeah, definitely Meg.
Mrs. What's It.
Mrs. What's It.
I'm so excited for that now. Okay. I think I would give this book... I have 3 out of 5 Aslan Roars. I think I might lower it to like 3.25. I wanted to give it a 4. When I started, I wanted to give it a solid 4. But like I said, the wrap-up was lacking in our usual lore dump that I love. And there was just like less magic explained in general. Or maybe there was just less magic. I don't know. There was like more magic than we've seen in a while. But it was less like Alakazam magic and more Aslan magic. So
She was filler.
Yeah. She's
She's
definitely a little filler.
Very filler.
Which is fine. Is fine. We all need a little filler episodes in our life.
You know, it reminds me of in high school where I like came up with a project, and the teacher liked the theme so much that he then made everyone do one with a similar theme, and and then he didn't like the second one that I did, and it was because it was hard to be authentic after I just spent all my energy doing this one thing to then like make another one that was supposed to be just as
Different?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Different, but just as good.
What were you
Okay.
thinking? So, except in this case, I think it's just like, well, we gotta have 7 books.
Yeah.
I want to give this book more roars. I'm struggling, and I think I'm gonna have to go Lobo. I think I'm gonna, because in my head I'm like, oh, 3 seems fair. I'm like, who the fuck cares? Nobody cares about how fair I am about this. I didn't enjoy as much as the others. This one's getting a 2.5 roars for me.
2.5. Only half. This is
I
an
don't
F. You got an F, Lewis.
Not an F, just like
A D minus.
I mean, it just, especially, I
It
don't
was
know.
like a C minus book. It
Yeah.
was a C minus story, but
It is
if
a
it's
good
out of
filler.
5 roars, yeah.
It's Lunchables before we knew they were completely made out of lead. Like, it's good enough. It's good enough. It's not a meal.
It's a snake.
Yeah.
And that is all we have for this episode of The Lobster and His Boy. With me, Wyatt, the boy.
And me, Clem, the lobster.
Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or any other headcanons, please, please, please let me know if you have any headcanons. I would love to know. You can reach out to us at lobsterandhisboy@gmail.com. No capitals, no spaces, no special characters. Or also on Instagram and TikTok at Lobster and His Boy. Again, no capitals, no spaces, no special characters.
Thank you, bye.
Bye!
I seen a rainbow yesterday, but too many storms have come and gone, leaving no trace of one the God-given ray. Is it because my life is 10 shades grey? I pray all 10 fade away, seldom praising for the sunny days. And like my promise is true, only my faith can undo the many chances I blew to bring my life to a new, clear and blue and unconditional skies have dried the tears from my eyes. No more lonely cries. My only bleeding hope is for the folks who can't cope with such an enduring pain that it keeps them in the pouring rain. Who's to blame for tooting cane into your own vein? What a shame you shoot and aim for someone else's blame. You claim the insane and ain't this day in time for fall and play the crime. I say the system got you victim to your own mind. Dreams are hopeless aspirations and hopes to come in true. Believe in yourself. The rest is up to me and you. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please think through the